Hey!
Hello!
Welcome, everyone, to Legends of Avantris, episode 22. Pretty big, exciting stuff, you guys. So we are a group of 6 nerds that started playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons a little over 2 years ago. We've been playing the same campaign ever since. We do 5th edition. It takes place in the homebrew setting of Avantris. And we do mostly rules as written, but there's a lot of homebrewing, some rules as fun, etc. So if there's anything that you notice that we're doing wrong, it's probably intentional or unintentional. Yell at us in the comments. We're totally fine with that. I know Misaki will probably yell at us in the comments. At least the fact that people are dying.
Or not dying.
Or not dying, rather.
Yeah, I can't believe we had an entire TPK.
Yeah, I know, TPKs.
Go back and watch the VOD.
Yeah. No. And I guess this is a mature audience stream. We are a rowdy and lewd bunch. Not actually, but we do curse.
No, we are.
We curse and
It's an understatement, actually.
So for any kiddos, you've been warned. Any parents, you've been warned.
And if you come in later, you weren't warned.
That's true. You weren't warned.
Sucks to be you.
Sucks to suck, man.
Sucks to be you.
With that, I think we can also talk about our giveaway.
Giveaway! Can you put this under the thing?
At 200 followers, we will be giving away a custom dice bag similar to that business on the camera there, and that business made by the one and only Nikki, Sylvie, your DM of our Fade campaign. You can choose your exterior color, your interior color. We have a variety of patches. Right now we have all of the D&D class logos, all of the HP house logos, Hogwarts, the D&D 5e logo, ampersand. And
look at all them Gryffindor
yeah, we do some fun ones,
magic.
right?
And I can tell you that is a high quality dank dice bag.
It is
Thank
dank.
you.
It is a dank bag.
It's a
Shake
dank
the bag.
bag.
And so as soon as we hit 200
Dank,
followers,
yes.
so
It's
tell your
staring
friends.
at my
All of our followers will be entered to win.
The record's very dank.
When we hit the followers, and then we maybe even doing a bigger giveaway once we hit that. So you won't want to miss out on that business.
And all the fat loots.
All the fat loots you could
Fattest
win.
loots.
You could win the fattest
You
loots.
too may have a fly mount someday.
You may have a giant bee mount.
That's a D mount.
Cherry, bees need honey. What else? Anything? Can we go around and introduce the party?
Let's do it.
Yes. Well, you probably all know. If you're new, we'll introduce, and we love you. If you're old, we love you, and we're gonna repeat ourselves here. We have Richie playing Roderick Stonehearth, a dwarf fighter. Scotes playing Ganji Stormscale, a bronze dragonborn cleric rather. We have Nikki playing Sylvie Flickerwicket, a forest gnome warlock. We have Kelsey playing Annulin Mossgrove, a wood elf ranger, and we have Andy playing Vandris Truestrike, a.
Is it too late to change my character?
Yeah.
Reroll.
Hey, you're gonna reroll. Vandris Truestrike, a high elf rogue. And
oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Ganji died, and I'm now playing a Drow monk. So.
Drow monk, I like it. We're gonna do half Drow, half Kender.
Oh, true.
Multi-class mystic, blood hunter. So Misaki.
Also Dragonborns.
Also, yeah, exactly. It's Dragon Turtleborn. We're gonna have my new
exactly.
OC race.
I'm half gnome, half hippo pygmy, or pygmy hippopin.
Yep, there's a lot of kin in this world of
That's a
Avantris.
lot of words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just used up all of our jokes. Just all.
Yeah.
There they are.
There they are.
All our goofs are just now in the air.
Okay. And with that, I think we are ready to talk about last time on Legends of Avantris. So, you all had escaped the mines of Melancholia via some shenanigans. You had done the old switcheroo and sent your pursuers down off into another tunnel in the mines. You then infiltrated the hives of this horrific wasp creatures and the like, and you, after sneaking through, avoiding most of the encounters there, you came across their queen, Queen Zingara. You heard her name being. She seemed to be busy at work of some variety, and in order to achieve safe passage, Annulin was polymorphed into a large bee creature by Sylvie and attempted to do an appealing dance.
It worked great.
And after 2 natty ones in a row, we don't do crit fails on skill checks, but still, Combat
Napoleon wasn't
ensued.
enough.
Needless to say, combat ensued. After taking a few hits, Rattling almost dying, their companion, their lizard folk companion. What happened? What happened? Oh, they killed it. Duh.
Oh yeah.
And
Then we got some loot.
we got some fat loots, and they managed to escape the hive onto the mountainside. And there was a vicious storm raging on this top of this volcano. They weren't quite at the peak, but they were fairly close. It was very rainy, very windy, very dark, and the storm was raging, so Anion led them a bit slower than they would have liked. However, their huge shadow loomed, a huge squawk rang out, and they realized that Zaki had noticed them, the huge, colossal, giant, two-headed vulture creature, also the personal mount of King Krem the Cruel. This creature attacked. They all prepared for battle. However, before the creature was able to do anything, it puked up a bunch of blood and venom, or poison, and bile, thanks to Annulon's idea. By the way, Annulon, take inspiration for your idea to poison Zaki.
Thank you.
And died on the spot, collapsing and falling down the volcano. That being done, they discovered what they believed to be Zaki's nest, with the indentation of a huge singular egg that had been taken or removed, and they saw the corpses of these lizard folk that had been seemingly trying to retrieve it. And they assumed that they eventually did succeed. With that, they killed a few more vultures and finally arrived, crossing a ridge. They saw King Krem's enormous fortress looming before them. And that is where we will kick it off here. And I will set up my music here, because I was ready, I promise.
Hey, it's Folly.
Hey,
Folly.
Folly.
I'm glad you're here.
School's almost over, right? It's May.
As the thunder rumbles over Undertow Isle, and the cool rain hits your face, and the wind is whipping your cloaks and your hair, for those of you that have hair. And
I was about to say.
but Ganji.
You fine little scale hairs.
True.
That's gross.
Well, we won't think any more about that. Don't worry.
Peering over the ridge, all six of you, including Rattler, are able to see the sloping volcano reach its peak, and sitting directly atop is an enormous fortress of dark gray stone. There seems to be the remnants of a wall, but whatever structural fortification this wall provided was long destroyed. Basically, piles of stone and rubble lay about the peak. You get the sense that whatever Bronze Dragonborn army seized this island and deposed them just completely shattered the wall. And the keep seems to be stacked in 4 different tiers. The highest decreasing in size, with the highest once again increasing at the very top. Few windows, very, very small, dot the face of this fortress. Torchlight, firelight, glinting from beyond the windows. You do see, as you view this fortress, that the severe damage that befell the wall seemed to also befall this fortress. Huge swaths of it have fallen, collapsed, whether it be from battle or from time. And it seems as if these have been relatively recently fortified, sloppily with wood, metal, and whatever the crooks could fortify it with. And with that, you see that you do see, as the lightning streaks across the sky and lights up the peak, you notice the occasional silhouette of a vulture landing into the keep and taking off as well. You do notice that it seems as if that there are 2 separate towers that are both attached to this main primary keep, and on one of them seems to be the highest concentration of where the vultures are landing. With that, what do you guys want to do?
Okay, so do we see any guards outside?
Make a perception check.
Okay. I'm really bad at this.
Ooh.
It's gonna be a I do. I think it's a 10 or an 11 now.
An 11.
Yeah.
You look around and you see that there are several ramparts that haven't completely collapsed, and there are a number of guards wielding crossbows and torches. They seem completely miserable, being out in the rain. Some of them seem to be slacking off, and it seems like most of the commotion is out on the large area of the wall in the second tier of the fortress, the external. But there are bits and pieces of posted watchmen. And then as you look, you see that there is a singular door on the southern side of the mountain, on the southern side of the peak at this point. And you see a single opening where a huge, heavy, double wooden door is. You see it occasionally open and then close again, just cracking a little bit. As you assume that different crooks are going in and out. And you see a very slight outline of a road, or really more a path, weaving through the rubble of whatever wall may have been there, and going down around back behind the mountain, as far as you can see. And yeah.
Are there any like holes in the side that are just completely open? Where we could like walk right in?
Or like, are any of the windows big enough for us to fit through?
You look, and it seems all of the windows that are open are just little arrow slits, mostly. Not even, might be difficult for Rhoda to fit his hand through some of them.
Well.
And some areas do seem to be blasted off, but the ones that aren't fully boarded up and fortified seem to be heavily graded over.
Thanks, Kira.
Thanks, Kira.
Oh, thank you, Kira.
We can get a noise though.
Yeah, I gotta
Fix the noise.
Fix the noise.
Anyway, keep
So-
talking. Keep talking.
That answers your question, fam.
It does.
So, and I mean, these walls look, the walls of the actual keep itself, do they look like, can we like judge how thick, like are they pretty standard thickness?
They seem to be as far as you mean the walls, like the walls of the actual structure, rather than the fortifying external walls that have all been destroyed.
Right.
These walls seem to be what you would expect of a fortress, particularly of the chromatic dragonborn architecture from your historical studies. I'd say you would just know that.
Okay.
Despite being millennia old, the architects were very, very skilled, and the structures were fairly sturdy. However, you're not really sure how well these crocodile pirates have been taking care of it.
Right.
They're effectively a group of squatters from ruins that they found.
Okay. Well, I do have one spell that might be of use. It's called Stone Shape.
Ooh, I like the sound of this.
And it lets me touch a stone object or a section of stone no more than 5 feet in any dimension and turn it into whatever I want, including a door with hinges.
Ooh, I know. You can make it a salmon.
I could actually do that.
I think
Or a
it's
door,
good idea.
or a door, salmon or door, either way.
I'm torn 50-50 salmon door. I'm not
I mean,
sure which.
if we make it a salmon, then we can cut it apart and we can have dinner too.
Oh, I haven't had a salmon in a long time. That sounds pretty good to me.
What about a salmon-shaped door?
Ah.
That seems like a fair compromise.
Yeah, I like that.
So, Ratley, have there ever been any rumors or stories about, like, the best way to get into this keep?
Well, as far as I know, I've never been up here. It's usually the most vicious ones that get to go and
and feast with King Krem and protect and be his personal bodyguards. But I know they got some weird stuff going on up here, and I know that King Krem rarely leaves his tippy top chambers.
So he stays all the way up there.
That's what I hear.
So I guess the question is there any way for us to get up? Do we want to go up from the inside or from the outside? Because we can get into the keep anywhere if we use a spell, but...
How many vultures are there all over?
You see that there are a good number of vultures. You make a perception check, actually.
So that's 16.
16. You take a look, and it's dark and difficult to see, but as you're seeing, from what Ganji had previously seen, with the second tier, having this large tower with vulture roosts all along it, and perches all along what remained of some seeming stone balcony with fortifications. You do notice that there is a high concentration of vultures further up, flying and perched at the very, very top, right around where it seemed King Krem, at least Ratley said King Krem's quarters maybe.
Well, I think there are 2 options. Or 3 options, I suppose.
Dwarves can count.
We try to go in the front door.
Or the sand.
We try to make a side door. Or we try to climb the outside.
My vote's always for kicking in the front door and going in guns a-blazing, so to speak.
I mean, I really like salmon and doors. And so if there's a chance that I could see a salmon and a door all in the same place, that's where my vote is.
Well, why don't we take some time to be super stealthy, maybe use a spell or 2, and at least scout out the surrounding areas. And if we can find somewhere towards the middle, or at least far away from all the commotion, then maybe that's where we put our door.
You know, man, Brodek, if you just want me to do these things, I'd be happy to do them. You don't have to beat around the bush, you can just ask.
Yeah, Rodak, you could just ask him.
Would you like to go on your own? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, if we need to do any scouting, I'd be happy to go ahead and do it.
Alright.
Yeah, Rodak, he's saying if you want him to do scouting, he'll do it.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
Vandal,
Thank
is that
you, Sophie.
what you're
I
saying?
appreciate you getting my back there.
Yeah, you're welcome. You want me to ride on it?
Maybe after the scouting is done.
Promise?
I promise.
Okay. Yeah, we should let him go scout.
Alright, go on, lad. Good luck.
I roll for stealth.
Okay.
He's so good to me.
I got a 27.
Sounds good.
Sounds about right.
I'd like to hide in the shadows and approach the giant door as close as I can and take a wonderful look around.
Okay.
He's writing notes. This isn't good.
Sorry, I'm just trying to actually give you guys a...
Shit ton of
Oh,
gold.
he's sketching.
Oh.
Oh.
I was hoping it was going to start with shit tons of gold. And end with a house.
You look really serious. I was concerned.
So, well, this is a horrible, horrible sketch.
Does it have a penis in it?
Probably.
Oh,
Probably
it's
does.
time to play.
So...
Find the dick!
Oh my god. So, north, obviously, basically relatively circular shaped fortress. You guys are back here towards the peak.
Found it.
There- It's not a dick. It's not a dick.
No, that's
So,
definitely a dick and balls.
First tier here,
Nice job.
second tier, a tower on the east side here, and then
He's
another
drawing the
tower
cubes
up
on
here.
The balls.
The remainders of the tower here seem to have been completely destroyed, and this side seems to have been
Yeah, that's
relatively
balls.
untouched.
I
So
can't
basically what
unsee
you're
it
saying
now.
is there are opportunities
Great job.
for entrances to climb the outside, but we're currently somewhere in the middle.
So you can
We're at the entrance.
you can
We're the X, and then the front door is the little dot on the south
Right.
side of the circle.
Got it.
Okay.
Well, then I'm definitely going to approach the front door as close as I can without being seen with my amazing stealth abilities and start to take a look around.
Okay. You put up your hood and blend into the darkness of the storm, and you slip through the darkness, making your way. Your footprints, your footsteps are quiet in the soft, wet earth. As you approach, you hear very low, relatively quiet voices as you approach. You see that the huge wooden door is closed at this point, and you see a single cloaked figure holding both sides of its hood, a protruding crocodilian snout, keeping an eye out as he holds a lantern with his tail, as he looks down towards the road for anyone coming. You keep an eye out, and you notice that there are 4 different crooks armed with crossbows at various little parapets around, that are really just more like outcroppings on rocks. You don't really know how they got there, as there's no doors for where they are. But this seems as if there isn't some huge, like a huge military defense. This is just probably a couple of thugs keeping watch. Most of them seem to be pretty upset that they're out in the rain and the storm. You hear some loud cursing as you approach.
Would I be able to estimate how long it would take me to do, like, one loop around the keep?
It would probably take you, it's a very large keep, it would take you going stealthily, I don't know, probably like 20 minutes.
Alright, I don't want to do that. If I hear the cursing, I'd like to try to get closer to see if I can make out any conversation.
Okay. As you approach, make a perception check, please.
23.
23. As you approach, you see the hooded figure right by the front entrance of those heavy wooden doors, shouting up to the closest of the crossbowmen on one of the parapets. And you hear him say,
I'm getting real tired of waiting around out here. I thought the next snail shipment was supposed to be here a lot sooner.
You then...
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Oh, jeez.
You then...
Or I should ask you.
You then hear a response, and it says,
Well, you should consider yourself lucky that you didn't get sent down to keep peace and gangplank like the rest of them. We're lucky that we get to stay up here.
Alright, with that lovely information...
And they're bickering. Those are the important parts.
Right. I'd like to return to the rest of the group.
Okay.
Alright. So it sounds like we've caused quite a bit of chaos down in Gangplank. That's where most of the forces are. So we're in lock, at least for a bit. They're also standing out here in the rain to keep guard, but it looks as though they're waiting for some sort of snail delivery. It must be the whatever they've captured from the mines, or there's a potential that we disrupted the snail that they were supposed to capture and bring here. In which case, that delivery is never going to come. So I don't know either way.
Now, that makes me think if they sent a lot of... I assume you told us everything. So, that if they sent most of their forces down to Gangplank to keep the peace, I think it's safe to say that even the front door might not be very defended.
We just have to worry about being fired upon from above. I saw at least 4 people, or lizard people, with crossbows.
And there was only one on the ground.
Yeah, I could see. He's got some sort of a lantern, and he's keeping watch, but that was all I saw.
There's only one on the ground, right?
There's one on the ground, yeah.
Alright, well... I'm up for trying going in the side entrance. We don't know what we're going to see.
That is my only concern, without knowing what's on the other side of the wall. it could be much more trouble than we're bargaining for. If we open up a door into their whatever their equivalent of barracks are.
And what level spell? What level spell is?
It's a 4th level.
4th level.
So it would require a lot of magical power to do.
All right, and I think it would make sense to save that if we can, especially if we're going up against King Crab.
I don't disagree.
And if there's only 5 of them, that's nothing. We've taken out dozens.
You know what my vote is.
What's your vote?
Kick it in the front door.
I'm still voting for a door made of salmon.
What if we make a door of salmon and then you kick it in?
We just discussed receiving that magic.
And also the door would
Thanks for
still
that follow.
it would be salmon but still be stone, so that would probably hurt.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool though.
It would be.
Does it have stone gills
Probably.
and stone bones
I don't know that I can do that level of detail. It might
and
just
stone fins?
yes, definitely.
What about stone eyeballs?
Oh yes.
I love this idea. I want to use this spell. Can you teach it to me?
No, he eats a lot of magical energy.
But he can put it in my ring sometime, and then I can make a salmon door whenever I want.
That is true.
We can do. I'll definitely do that for you tomorrow if it doesn't happen today.
You're my best friend. Screw you guys. None of you give me salmon doors.
None of them can bend the laws of reality to their whim. I don't know what they were
We
thinking.
just hit things with weapons.
Losers.
When they went to adventuring school, they must have walked in the wrong door or something.
We probably.
Definitely wasn't a salmon door, that's for sure.
At this point, Ratley goes up to you guys and says,
Well, you know, I trust all yous I'm alive so far, but it's been a long time since we had a little bit of a rest, and I'm not feeling great. How's everybody else feeling?
I feel great.
That's a good point. How long has it been since we slept?
Well, did we stay in a hut for a short rest or something?
short rest,
Short
yeah,
rest,
but
not
not
a
a
long
long
rest.
rest. You guys are probably when do you get level 1 exhaustion?
I have no idea. I don't know
You make a
what
roll for it if you've been up for over 24 hours.
Okay, you guys have probably been up for over 24 hours. I'd
Really?
say. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, what's the roll?
Should we
What's the
roll for it?
Yeah, what's the roll?
It's a con save. Use the Anathars.
Con save.
What's the DC though?
Let me look.
Rich,
me
Rich,
look.
you're,
He's not-
you're,
He's the
you're,
key.
you're,
Help
you're,
us.
you're big on ideas and small on facts.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna fail it anyway.
Ratley passes.
I'm
I'm going
probably.
to assume he passes.
DC 10.
I got a 16.
Oh, I pass. I got a 12.
Anyone?
Well, you said it was a con.
Con
Con
saving
saving
throw.
I got a 6, so I'm probably pretty
Ooh.
tired.
So the gentlemen seem
I'm
to be.
exhausted.
Isn't it strange that as soon as I say that, you all feel really exhausted? I actually don't feel that bad.
Yeah, I think you just fucking jinxed us, my dude.
I think that it's the rain or the big dead vulture invigorated me. I didn't even notice. I didn't realize you've been up for so long.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm feeling okay at the moment, but I wouldn't really benefit from a short rest, if you know what I'm saying.
So do you still have power to put the door in?
Yes.
Why don't we go up, put the door in, although they might find it overnight. That's probably not the best idea.
Whoa.
Okay, so.
Ollie said it's Dex for exhaustion. Is that?
Alright, let
Is it Dex or Con?
Would you have hit? Would you have hit it either way?
I would have.
Kels, your Con mod should be +4.
I would have had a 10 if it was Dex.
Well, no, remember, so you might not have updated it. Remember, your Con is 19. So your Con mod is +4.
She probably also has proficiency on.
Oh, you're Con proficient. JK said.
I mean, the thing is, I can form the door to any shape that suits my purpose. So I can form the door to look the same, but just have, like, internal hinges. So that it might not be noticeable unless you're, like, actually looking at the walls, which I doubt these guys do. Sorry, I should be saying all this in character.
Yeah.
I can
Preferably.
I can probably like make the door a disguised door so that it still looks like part of the wall but pushes open.
Well, why don't we do that now? We find somewhere to sleep. We get rested up. We'll be in full strength before we go in. It has been late. We've gone through a lot today.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I mean, I hate giving them more time, but I understand, we have physical limitations. Some of us.
Hopefully, if we've caused enough chaos in the city, that might keep them off balance for a little while longer.
Is there anywhere like that's completely hidden out of sight? Are there any like craggy?
You get the sense that like from where you just came, it's pretty craggy, and there's a lot of different hidden spots, especially in the storm, where you guys could basically slip back beneath the peak and set up camp somewhere.
And we do have the hut,
We have
right?
a hut, so
Which
we'll be
makes-
nice and safe and warm.
Yeah.
And we can change the color, right?
Yeah. And nobody can get in it without the password.
What's the password?
Haven't decided yet.
All right. Well, why don't we get some rest? Well, because I'm trying to figure. Exhaustion's pretty bad, right? Do you have the?
It's
levels
only a
there?
disadvantage on ability checks.
Only.
That's still really bad.
Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty,
it's
that's
not
really
great.
bad. It's pretty bad. It's not
I
really
mean,
good
I
attack rolls.
I don't mind refreshing my spells.
Trying to lure us into a trap was killed.
What's that?
The DM's trying to
So
lure
Mike
us
is
into a
just trying
trap.
to lure us into a trap and get us killed. It's only disadvantage on ability checks, guys. Keep going, please.
Don't worry about it.
No traps.
All right. Well, why don't we get some rest, Sylvie? So I guess we'll go down and find somewhere very
Do
secluded.
we want to do the door?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
How long does the door last?
It's permanent,
Well, that is convenient.
right?
I need that in my ring.
Okay. Could you please point where on the circle you're going to place the?
Basically,
Pick your poison.
basically, I would want to, because we have no idea what the, and I wouldn't have any idea what the layout could be, right? Like that seems like it would be outside of the realm of my historical
Make
knowledge.
a history check.
Yeah,
Could-
because you're
yeah.
a Durganborn.
Yeah,
Ah.
and my people did raise this fucking keep, so I don't know.
Good idea.
12.
Oh.
No, sorry. 12. That's a 16.
16. You would probably guess that most of the keeps, fortresses, and castles from that era of history usually were built in a circular format with usually the main features were things like dormitories, things like supply areas, and then the main feature being the dining hall or the great hall. And those were the main things. Then usually there were additional features on upper floors. But you could probably guess, that there was maybe 10 feet of fortification in the ground. So then the room would start like 10 feet off of the ground at the if you were to place a door.
Okay, so basically what I want to do is I want to find the place that's least guarded externally.
Okay.
That isn't likely to lead into either a great hall or a barracks, based on what I know. So so the guards are the guards all in front, or are they all around?
They, from what you all could see, there were just the 4 in the front.
Okay.
And so you noticed that there was the gentleman sitting at the front, and then basically 2 and 2 further out.
Okay.
However, it did seem that to the left side, the west side of the keep, you actually can see that there had been some damage sustained on that side of the fortress that had been started to be patched up, from what you can tell, and it seemed as if there was a little bit of less firelight. You can see from the little slats in the windows off to the
Okay.
side. I'm assuming you're creeping. Can you make a roll stealth check for me?
Actually, can you?
Oh.
Can you make me invisible? Maybe that might help. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, why?
So I can make it the best Salmon door possible.
You drive a hard bargain. Yes. And I touch him and make him
Make it with
invisible.
advantage. Make it
Alright.
with advantage.
Well, actually, that just negates my disadvantage, unfortunately. Oh shit! Nice. Okay, so that's gonna be an 18.
18.
Nice.
Okay.
Where are my
So
spells?
I'm gonna say you take probably about 20 minutes
Okay.
creeping through, and you feel invisible. You feel a little more confident in your stealth. You manage to quiet your armor a little bit, As you creep around on both sides, you see that there are the little slats of windows that continue to go across. However, on the east side, they seem to be flickering with torchlight and firelight. And the one remaining stone slit of a window towards the west side seems to be dark before the stonework seems to have crumbled away and replaced with metal and wood, heavily fortified patchwork somehow.
Okay, so in the stone on the west side,
Yes.
I would like to cast Stone Shape, and
Like about ish there. We'll say.
yeah, probably
Okay, yeah.
because it's
we'll
not,
just say we'll say it out there.
yeah, because I can't do the metal and wood part.
Correct.
It has to be. The
It
stone.
has to be, okay.
Just be aware once you cast
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Even
I
if
would
it's
have
not-
told you that before.
Yeah, but even if it's not physical, even if it's not like
Just to
attack.
cast
Any
a
spell.
spell.
Okay.
So I'll just need you to make a roll stealth check as soon as it drops.
Okay.
How far away is he?
You guys, I assume, were back towards the ridge.
Well, because I'm just realizing like Sylvie would have informed him of all of this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I'm wondering, because I can cast touch spells through Lumi, so depending on where he's at, I could always add one more use.
I would
So
say
could
that
do that.
I would say that
if
is
he's
what
not too
Sylvie
far
would suggest
away.
would send Lumi with him to recast it.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna
Okay.
drop it.
So I'm going to cast it, and what I would like is the door to look largely the same as the stone.
Okay.
It'll have little hinges probably on the outside, or if it needs visible hinges, I would like them to be
Yeah.
on the outside,
Okay.
small ones. And in the middle stone, I would like to transform the outside of the middle stone into a little salmon,
Okay.
just embedded in the wall.
Okay. Could you
Still where it is.
Or actually no. Let's have it be one of the stones towards the bottom to
Okay.
make it less conspicuous.
could you make just a sleight of hand check, I guess, just to kind of see how sneaky you're being with your spell?
Sure.
Oh boy. That salmon's
Nice.
gonna ruin it all.
That's a 20
Nice.
Yeah.
Dice are on
Okay.
fire.
It's up to the
for
door
a
and it screams,
change.
"Make a door!"
Ganji, you put your palm on the stone where you think would be about where the floor level is, and you think that you'd be able to get a door there. You say a very quiet prayer to Bahamut. As stealthily as you possibly, you hear as you notice very subtly the crease of a rectangular door, very small hinges on the outside, the external of the fortress, and emblazoned very subtly and tastefully in the shape of a leaping salmon. And is Lumi immediately casting
She
invisibility?
would immediately. cast
Okay,
it.
and she would immediately cast it again. It drops for only a second. Lumi's on it. You cast it. I'm just gonna not even have you roll for it. Just keep for that same stealth check.
Okay.
And
I get the fuck out.
and you make your way back. Yeah, the guards are not paying very much attention. They seem to just be pissed and they bickered a little bit, but they were then it seemed whatever conversation that Vanders had listened to had maybe have come to a head, and they've been waiting in silence as you did this. So you make your way back to the party towards the southern side of the peak there.
Alright, and then I drop invisibility, assuming I can. Otherwise, I just say, Operation Salmon Doors, go!
I'm so excited.
Alright, now let's get some sleep.
Okay, good night.
I'll take the first watch.
And then Sylvie's gonna go around and whisper the password to everybody but Rodak. Are we gonna travel somewhere, or are we
Yeah,
just
we're
gonna
just-
make it here?
You said ducking down, like just below the ridge,
Yeah.
off to the side.
Can I have one of you make a survival check just to see?
Amulet.
What else? Go.
17.
Nice.
17. Okay, so you head back down off the peak, down alongside the mountain, and you find a densely knotted bramble patch of these thorny vines. However, there is, after all of you, you find a hole that all of you can fit in, and it brings you into this nice little clearing that seems to have this canopy of thorny vines, where it seems like Sylvie's tiny hut could fit.
Great.
Oh, this
So-
thing's so comfy, we don't even need that.
No. Let her do
So I'm
it.
gonna take 10 minutes to cast it as a ritual.
Okay.
And I want to make it kind of fit in with the surroundings.
Okay.
So kind of.
So you're gonna make it like
almost
a
like
beigey
camouflagey,
camo. Okay, so you channel it to make it look like that dark beigey brown of the thorny vines, and the dome appears after 10 minutes in the rain, and finally, for the first time in several hours, you are dry. You're not
Well,
being
not
rained on.
yet. They're not.
Yes. You're not dry yet, but
None
you are.
of you can come in unless you say the password. It's snake for open.
I think I met a snake once. I think I heard that.
I just walk right in. What happens?
It would just bounce you back out if you don't know the password.
I thought you have to just. I thought you determine.
You either have to say the password or I have to give you permission. So I made a password, so you have to use the
Okay.
password.
So I bounce off of it.
You would have, yeah.
Oh
You
shit!
run into
You're really gonna make me
the
do this?
Yeah.
nearly translucent barrier and hits your nose.
Haseth.
I think that's good
Does
enough.
it
You have
work?
permission to go in.
I try to walk through.
And so everyone can go.
I
Okay.
just wanted to make him do that.
Sylvie, I appreciate you only making Brodeck do it. That was hilarious.
You're welcome.
You did a great job. Come on in.
Oh, okay, thanks.
And Ratley walks in and joins you.
First watch, second watch. Thunder sign on.
Wait a second.
All right. You go to bed.
Rest easy, friends.
Good night.
So as you nestle all in for the evening,
Right.
you nestle in for the evening. You hear the pattering of rain. Can you hear what's outside? I assume.
Yeah.
So you hear the pattering of rain
And we can see through it, too.
hitting on the dome as the rain is coming down. Not nearly as hard through the dense canopy of brambles above you, but it still is noticeable. You all, just except for the watch people, drift off to sleep, and 8 hours pass.
Woo!
Fabulous.
As you awake, you hear the same pattering of heavy rain as it seems as you look up through the dome, you still see the heavy dark clouds. At this point, it's been so long underground and with the thick dense cloud cover, you have no way of knowing what time of day it is.
Wow.
Unless one of you
Beginning to
has some
forget what the
stupid
sun
fucking
looks like.
feature. What's that? Yeah.
I said I'm beginning to forget what the sun looks like.
The what?
Does it never stop raining here? Ratley, is this strange?
Well, I mean, we occasionally have long rainstorms, but
Make a roll.
I remember that people talking about, mentioning storms in Orpheus, I guess a little bit, with people's up in the keeps.
So you think Orpheus is doing this?
Or people that you saw what he did with Melancholia and her with the earth stuff.
Right. And Deidre made the storm in the cavern. Oh, Christ. Don't forget to get hit die, by the way. 4 hit die.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Just because I was at 0. I think for like the first time ever.
So as you all wake up, Ratley pulls a few slightly rotting toads out of his pouch and starts munching at it. And he sits down and looks at everyone and says,
Well, what's the plan here? We going through the door and just fighting our way to the top, eh?
That's something to consider, yes. I think first in group you can agree with me or not. I think that first we see how well the front door's guarded now. It's been 8 hours, roughly. And second, maybe we at least stick our heads through the door to see where we happen to place it. And then we make a decision. How does that sound?
Yeah, I mean, we made the salmon door for a reason, so I think we should definitely use it.
So are we ready to go? I finished rations or whatever.
okay. You all finish eating
Get all set up.
and you take the time to sack up.
So let's be stealthy and let's just see how well guarded it is. Is that alright? Okay, we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Sylvia, are you dropping the dome?
Yeah.
You drop the dome, and once again, that cool air hits you immediately as the wind is howling on the peak, and the rain starts to drip through the brambles. And Annulin will say, remembers how she guided you previously. And
Quick question.
Yes.
Z-Mathin asks, how long have you been DMing?
I have been DMing for almost 2.5 years. In June it'll be 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I gave you an extra 6 months.
Oh, hey, yeah. I've been planning, I guess if prep counts, has been probably about 3 years. But not actually DMing sessions. I was really into D&D through 3.5 when I was like 12 to 14, but my little peanut brain couldn't wrap my head
Yeah, so he
around it.
did DM the 3.5 starter set.
That's
Almost
true.
all the missions.
I did. and
So
we were
technically, you were like
you
14.
technically probably have 3 years under your belt.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go.
yeah, hey, you're right. Good call, guys. Annulin leads you back out from the bramble patch. Back up towards the keep to that same little ridge outcropping where you were able to observe. You look, and why don't we just make a group perception check here?
19?
12.
5.
17.
11.
Okay. Enough of you notice that there is no figure standing out front of the huge double doors. However, there are still 4 crossbowmen stationed on those same 4 outcroppings. They don't seem to be the same 4 crocodile creatures from what you can tell, but they are in the same places with crossbows. They also seem to be about equally as miserable to be out in the storm.
So shall we go to the salmon door?
I
Okay, you two lead the way.
How high are the crossbow guys above us?
I would say they're probably a good 20 feet.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Can we stealth? I'd like to steal.
Yeah. Everyone stealth, please.
I want to steal.
Genji's going to need to lead the way because we don't know where he placed the door.
I mean, I can describe
Well,
it.
you do, but the rest of us don't.
Okay.
21.
21.
Oh, jeez. That's a big old win.
25.
20 for Shelby.
That's a 9.
A 10.
I have disadvantage. What's yours?
My stealth rolls always suck.
Don't you have disadvantage too?
He
I
has
have my
elven.
little elven
Oh, your
duties.
boots. I forgot.
Thanks for the follow, Z-Mathin. Appreciate
Thank you.
Thanks. You all go as quietly and as stealthily as you can, and Ganji leads the way towards the outline of the door that he created. It seems as if these lookouts are really not doing a great job looking out. You hear a few of them complaining that they were forced to sit out here in the storm and just keep an eye on things. You do hear word of another one kind of trying to be the voice of reason in the sense that these crooks can have reason in that with how paranoid King Krem is, that they're all lucky they weren't all strung up as mutineers, and that obviously that they weren't sent to Gangplank, as with most of them, as were most of them.
And that's just, we hear that while we're passing?
Yeah.
Come around.
Just
Okay.
Thank God they
you arrive
suck
at the door right at
They suck at perception.
They do.
Alright. So we keep going to the door.
Okay, you arrive at the door. Ganji sees the same outline is still there. That little salmon indentation is wet with rain.
Would you like to do the honors, Genji?
Let's be cautious first, but yes.
Talk a little bit.
So I
Talk a little bit.
oh.
I can hear you.
So yeah, so I pushed the door open a little bit to enough. I'm trying to do enough to like crack it and see if I can see what's inside.
Can you please make a sleight of hand check?
Sure. It's a 14.
Bit parched. 14. Okay. You grab the side of the door that you created and pull as gently as you possibly can. It makes very slight sound as it opens, and there is no light that emanates through.
Okay.
You're gonna peek an eye in?
Yeah, with goggles, obviously.
Okay. So you your goggles are tightly fastened as you peer through the crack. The dark vision granted to you by these goggles is enough for you to make out a dark room, and you see crates, barrels, very rudimentary shelving, large sacks of burlap and leather, and seem to be thrown about not quite in the most efficient manner. You seem to have stumbled upon some kind of storeroom.
Nice.
And
Good
that-
aim.
with that, I think I can unveil some of the map.
Unleash
It's
the
our
map.
favorite game time.
Yay.
Ah, perfect.
Oh, right at me.
Spot.
You
Van,
are-
Wiener.
I hate you guys so fucking much. New door.
I'm surprised you didn't give Ganji inspiration for spotting the wiener on your quickly hand-drawn map.
Anyone who spots a wiener on my shit loses inspiration. That's the new rule.
Damn.
What if we spot it but just don't tell you?
So,
We're gonna have a group chat called Spot
Ganji.
the Wiener.
Alright.
as you peek your eye and you see barrels, boxes, crates, shelving, however, you see that the stone of this room does not go much beyond 10, 15 feet before it had crumbled, and you see that the foundation is fortified by large planks of wood and strips of metal and bits of stone, just sloppily patched together, covering this room and sheltering it from the elements.
Okay. So, and no one's in there that I can see.
Make it a perception check, but you don't immediately see anyone.
Oh boy. That's gonna be a 5.
Ooh, 5. You don't see anyone. That's the room.
And is that small?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, it looks like a storeroom. I think we might be good here.
You don't see anything.
I don't see any people. I just see crates and barrels and ramshackle repairs.
Did you say that it's a Cracker Barrel? I love that place.
No, I
they have the
think-
best biscuits.
Oh, I think he said it's a crate and barrel. I think they sell furniture.
Oh, a Crackle Barrel.
A crackle barrel?
Yeah.
Is that what he said? Anyway, great aim. Why don't we go
I'm
in
just saying.
and let's get out?
I try to go in the door.
See this little notch there?
It's more like a pew pew pistol. Are we going in?
Depends on where you're sitting. Depends on where you're sitting.
And
Yeah,
as you
Jesus
creep
Christ.
in, you notice that there's somehow boulders in the top of the ceiling, and they're loose. And Ganji stepping in, no save even possible, not even a saving throw, just falls, and he just.
Alright. Well, here's my character sheet. Please destroy it.
Where's the hammer? But for reals, shall we go in quickly? So we go in
Okay.
and then shut the door.
Okay. So you all pile in, and the last person shuts the door.
Is there a oh shit? Is there a handle on the other side?
The door behind them.
Sure. Well, whatever. We'll figure it out.
There does not seem to be a handle on this door.
Honestly, I was. That's fine. I think we're good.
You could probably attempt to leverage it open again. The door, the person in the back, will just say shuts it. There's the, and you see the barrels and the crates and the like and the sacks are packed very tightly, but there is just enough room for you to be able to squeeze through everything and make your way through this. You see bits of dried meats. Things like barrels of rum, barrels of whiskey, a lot of alcohol in here, and mostly food and alcohol. You have things like what seem to be dried fish, and things like buckets of rivets, lumber that's all laid out. Basically, whatever you think that they. Oh, go ahead, Maris.
Is there anything worth stealing?
Make a... What would you be looking for? How about that? What
Do they have a bag of ball bearings?
Make a perception check. Or no, investigation check.
I just want to look for something that looks for valuable things.
Yeah.
I want to rummage around.
Okay.
I'd like to like stock my bag and my flask with booze and food.
Okay.
I actually got 25.
25. Vanders, you look around and you actually manage to find a bucket of metal ball bearings. And there's probably about 2,000 in there. 2,000 ball bearings. And
There are so many hijinks with that.
you manage to find, you can take your pick, whether it's ale, rum, whiskey, whatever you want, some wine. There's a plethora of things here. And there's tons of dried meat, dried fish. It's not the best quality. These are still kind of lowly pirate things. There does seem... Go ahead.
How heavy is 2,000? I can't take them all.
Depends on what you use for the bag of holding.
Well, so before I had 1,000 on my person.
I'd say
It's probably not that heavy, right?
I mean, it's fairly heavy, but it's D&D, right? So it's like,
We don't use them.
All that
Would
encumbrance.
anyone like to guess how many ball bearings I currently now contain in my possession? I will give you $1 if you can get it exactly.
5,000.
Yeah, this feels like guess the M&Ms in the jar or something.
2001.
No, but that was a better guess.
500.
No.
750.
That was also kind of a close guess. It's 2,749.
Oh, okay,
there you go.
sure.
Okay.
Does the dollar roll over to the next guess?
Yes, it'll be $2 next time. Jackpots.
Deal.
Rolling up.
Just keeps going.
Okay. So you take your time investigating the room. You see that there is a heavy wooden door, single heavy wooden door, exiting this room. You see that there are some slots for torches, but there are no torches in these slots. The floor and the walls have the same material, that same heavy gray stone, and you are basically able to look around and kind of grab whatever provisions that you guys would want if you think you could.
I'll grab like a few things of like meat, like
Yeah,
dried meat.
you put on down some meat and rations, whatever you guys think.
Is there?
I want to take anything that's like looks kind of semi-fancy, or like the best of whatever's there.
The nicest thing that's probably there are probably some tobacco pipes made out of clay. But that's probably the nicest thing that you can find there. It's mostly just kind of like dirty pirate rations, nothing fancy.
Oh.
I would like to search for a burlap sack,
Okay.
a small rope,
Okay.
and a little bit of hay, 2 beetles, and something that could be like pounded down to create like a red powder. Like a reddish powder.
Make an investigation check.
Damn it.
If the pipes are red clay, you can probably
13.
crush them.
13.
Yeah.
You find the burlap sack and the rope. Unfortunately, you're not able to find any beetles.
Damn it.
But you do manage to find a little bit of dried tobacco that you might be able to. It's a little bit red.
Okay, that'll do.
There's also wine in here.
What was that, anyone?
I said there's also wine in here.
Yeah.
It's not powder, but.
You
What'll
have
do
any
too? I might take some of your wine, Annulin, if you don't mind.
I'd be happy to share with you. You're my best friend.
Yeah. Well, Ganji's my best friend, but...
Well, that hurts a lot.
Okay, well, you're my best friend now. Sorry, Ganji.
Well, Avantris is my best friend now, so.
I didn't consent
I
to that.
hate you. Ganji,
Did I
you're my
say
best
Vanders?
friend again.
Well, as dramatic as all these interpersonal relationships is, I think we have a plan there, our new friends.
Frankly, we always have a plan.
Do you
Haven't
have
learned
2
by now?
beetles?
Beetles, do they need to be alive?
No, dead, preferably.
Hold on a sec.
He rummages around in his pack and he pulls up 2 plump beetles with these large mandibles. probably about 2 inches across for each of them.
Dad, I was gonna eat some later, but if
Can
you
I have them?
Yeah, I suppose what
Thanks
you
for
need
the
them
follow,
for.
Trice.
Thank you.
And so I
Thanks,
take
Trickster.
the beetles and I put them in my sack with everything else.
Okay.
It's for a surprise.
Okay, I'm looking
You and
forward
your
to
surprises. So I think our plan is we go stealthily and we look through that door right over there.
I'm assuming this is a door. Yes.
Okay.
Well, you can stealth all you want, but I want to steal.
Avantris, would you like to, as stealthily as you can, peek through that door?
Yes, but I'm also letting you know right now I'm also interested in stealing. So I'm gonna do what I can as I go, but I will be quiet and I will keep an eye out for people.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead.
22.
22. You're stealthing, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you going to do with that stealth roll?
I am going to make my way through the storage room to where I hopefully will find a door.
Okay. You find the heavy wooden door, and it is solid. It seems to be in a bit better condition in craftsmanship than a lot of the other crook work that you've seen, but it still seems to kind of have some of the same hallmarks, just that maybe that for this interior, for King Krem, they'd attempted a little bit of a better job. However, there are still a few slots, little slits in the wood that you're able to see. You do see the very faint flicker of torchlight as you approach through the slats on this door here.
Can I hear anything?
Have you rolled perception yet?
Nope.
Can you please make a roll perception for me?
That was bad. 7.
Sneaky snake.
7. It's difficult with the heavy door closed for you to hear much of it.
Is the door locked?
You put your hand on the metal handle and you feel as if it is not.
I
My
very,
stomach's
very
back.
quietly and super stealthily push the door open a crack. Just enough to squeeze my head in and poke it.
Okay. So you place your hand on the handle and you open it very carefully, and you see before you a stone hallway. And make another perception check for me. How about that?
Thank goodness.
How about
Oh, that was almost as bad. 15.
15?
Yes, 15.
15. So you see, whatever, I don't really care that much. So you see a long, circular hallway that's rounding off on either side to your left and to your right. You see across the hallway, a little bit to your left, another door. It sounds as if there's not much noise coming from there, but past that way, you hear 2 things. You hear the loud chattering of voices, the occasional cheer, the occasional angry voice. Way down in the hallway, you also notice a door to your left where you hear clattering of metal and thudding and footsteps walking around down in that direction. However, no one is in the immediate hall. To your right, the hallway curves around. I don't know if you can see. You can see immediately to your right, actually. Immediately to your right is another heavy door, also closed. You do not hear anything coming from that direction.
Who's closest to me, Brodak? I motioned to whoever's closest to come to
It could be whomever. I'm not.
I pointed at Brodak and I told him.
Yeah, all right, lad. I walk up to it.
Okay.
There's a lot of doors around here. I hear some heavy metal work. I don't see anyone, but I'm worried that most of these doors are probably going to be locked or something. I'm actually shocked that this door wasn't locked, but perhaps because it's just food stores, they didn't need to lock it.
Which direction was the sound coming from?
Towards the left. There's a couple of doors, and it sounds like the metalworking is coming from that direction.
Well, this might sound crazy, and I normally don't suggest this, but given that you're way sneakier than just about all of us, do you want to take your walkie-talkie and then just try to quickly dart to another door, jump in, or at least peek in, and then update us.
I can certainly give it a try.
Just because I feel like if all of us try to go to another door, that could be an epic disaster. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Some of us are very bad at stealth.
Agreed. Alright, I'll try the first door I can come to, and I'll make haste and I'll come back quickly.
All right.
So
I'm gonna try the
Good luck.
door that's across the hall to the left.
Okay. You sprint across the hallway as quickly as you can. You're very, very stealthy, and although the hallway is lit, it's the flickering torchlight on the walls, and you seemingly darting between the shadows. You place a hand gently on the doorknob, and this one does seem to be locked.
I'd like to put my ear up to the door to see if I can hear anything on the other side.
Okay, perception check for me.
Okay, they're getting worse. That was a 6.
You hear nothing.
I am going to attempt to pick the lock.
Okay. Make the dex roll plus proficiency, right?
Yeah.
Got 11.
An 11. Okay. You slowly pick the lock, and you hear a jamming, and you pull it out, and one of your thieves' tools is bent.
Curses.
And you have a couple spares, by the way, in your kit.
Okay. I am. Shoot, I gotta try again.
Okay.
Sure is taking a while, isn't it?
That's gonna be another failure.
How much?
That's another 11. Roll 3 again.
11. This one doesn't bend, but you probably could try to give it one more go.
Alright, I'm gonna give it one more go.
He's all right.
He would probably make a noise if he wasn't.
Yeah! 21!
That was a noise.
21.
He might be at the buffet at the Golden Corral. That
Oh, right.
always takes a long time.
It does. It takes a while. You have to wait in line. Wait for clean plates.
Mhm.
Yeah, clean plates.
Anyway.
Lots of sound.
For the mashed potatoes to be refilled.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go on.
You
Sidebar.
work your tools a little bit frustrated. You hoping that you didn't damage the locking mechanism in this door. But as soon as you feel like the door has grabbed your thieves' tools and you're almost going to break it, have it wedged inside, you manage to quickly save it, and you hear the tumbler tumble. I don't know what's the word for it, and you feel the door unlock.
Alright, I'm going to gently press open the door and try to peer in and see if I can see anything.
You peer in. It is another dark room. However, the flickering flame light from the hallway immediately glints off of metal, and with your dark vision, you're able to tell that there are piles and piles of copper, gold, and silver in here.
But it doesn't sound like there's any people.
Nope.
I go in.
Okay?
Of course he does.
You go in. You close the door behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, the door closes behind you with a soft click as you see piles and piles, huge piles, mostly copper pieces, because that's obviously the most numerous, but there is a hefty number of gold and silver as well, kind of sloppily thrown about. It's almost as if after all of their hauls, just the crooks would just kind of just chuck a lot of the coin that they had pilfered into this room.
How much can I physically hold before I become encumbered?
DuckTales. Woo!
I mean, so how long are you going to take kind of...
I want to move quick, but I just want to basically go like this.
Okay, so you fill up your bag as much as you can. I'll just say, just for the sake of brevity, that it's a lot of copper pieces, so we'll say it's probably 211 gold pieces worth of coin.
Are you doing that, or should I?
I can add. Well, I think that's just Andy's, so I'll add it.
Worth of gold and copper and silver.
Yeah, I'll make a note of it on mine. But all right, then what I'll do is I'll leave the room, close the door behind me, and walk across the hall to the other door.
Okay, and this is a heavy, jangling sack of gold.
Real quick, sending stones go to people's minds, right?
Yes.
So I want to kind of like go to a corner over here, and I go, Avantris, are you all right? You're taking quite a while. You're not pressing your button.
Sorry, I hear it. I'm trying to hold the bag with one hand and talkie up. I got the first door open. You're breaking up. And I go to the next door.
Well, that's not suspicious.
Okay, which door are you going to, though? You have basically 3 options from what you can see. So now that you're closer, you see to your left, the door on the other side of the hallway, the closest door to you, is cracked open. You see that the light in here is much brighter, and there seems to be some kind of roaring fire. You hear the splashing of water, the clattering of, as you get closer now, it sounds like pans, and the occasional chopping, and low voices occasionally muttering in that room. Footsteps here and there.
I immediately go back to the rest of the group.
Okay?
Meanwhile, so right as he gets off, I start running to the door because you're like, he's in trouble, hurry! I'm like rushing everybody to the door, and then Van just walks.
Okay, so as soon as... Go ahead.
Okay, alright, so full disclosure, I lied. I panicked. I found a lot of precious metals, and I dropped the bag on the floor and opened it up.
Holy moly, look at all of the bowls that you have in there. Look at them. They're everywhere.
I don't like to be presumptuous, but are we splitting that 6 ways?
So there's an entire room full of it, and this is just as much as I could carry. I panicked. I apologize. I lost my professionalism in the moment, but we should definitely revisit that door and get as much as we possibly can. Up a door that I visited, and the reason I came back was because it sounded like some sort of a kitchen or a galley, and I didn't want to try to proceed any farther with this giant bag of treasure.
Well, that's fair.
Oh, yeah, so what do we do?
Would you like to place that in the bag of holding?
Yes, absolutely. It's only going to encumber me at this point.
All right, hand it over.
Well, that was a good idea.
I put it in the bag of holding.
That was much better than my idea.
So what do we do? Do we just kick the door down and kill them all? We don't know what's on the other side.
I don't think we necessarily have to worry about the galley people immediately. I'm not sure, honestly. I don't think killing them all is going to help us. It might be unnecessary danger and alert the rest of the keep.
That's fair. I just worry about if we happen to get in trouble right past that door, they could come right up behind us.
That's very true.
Could we just lock them in?
Or wedge the door shut?
Could you do that weird stone thing that you did where you just get rid of a door?
You can't change a knot door.
No, but if this... Technically,
just
if
make
the
stone
ground
over the
is
back.
stone, yeah. I could like make stone bars.
And then they could just not get out.
That's a lot of magical power for potentially not a lot of highly combat-oriented people. But if we
You'd
want
also
to...
be effectively burying them alive. So
yeah, there's that
seems
too.
kind of messed up.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna kill them anyway, it's just...
Vandris, do you think
It is an unearthly death, Sylvie.
Was the door locked? Did you mention that?
The door was locked to the keep with all of the precious metals. I didn't try the door to the galley because I didn't want to cause any unnecessary attention.
Do you think you'd be able to stealthily pop your head in and just get a look? Just a wee look?
Or is there like a keyhole you can look through or something?
I might be able to look through the door. The other door had some spacing in it. They were made of wood, so I'll go check it out.
All right.
Okay. Make one more stealth check for me, Anders.
I got a 22 again.
22. Okay, so you stealthily pop your head out of the door and make a perception check for me, real quick. 22?
Yep.
So as soon as you're popping your head out, you hear footsteps coming out towards the direction of the door that you are heading towards. You are able to stop yourself and keep an eye on it. You see the door open, and you see a lizard folk walk out with a huge iron pot of some like nearly bubbling stew. The aroma hits you almost immediately. This crook has a large apron on that's covered in all sorts of things, and he's heading down the hallway towards the left. You see that there's a butcher knife in a leather belt that he wears that's covered in all sorts of guts and disgusting things.
So there's one guy in there.
One guy, and he's walking down the hall, and he's like struggling to hold the super stew or whatever it is sloshing around in this huge iron pot.
Well, I want some of that super stew.
As he gets to the door at the end of the hallway that
good.
curves around, you can barely see as he disappears around it.
Real quick, where is he? In relation to all
He's
this?
going away
So
from
he comes out of this door, he walks, carries the stew, puts his shoulder into this door, opens it, and you hear a voice barely as the door closes behind him. Simpson! And you hear loud, "Hey, yay, we love soup. I hope it's alphabets."
Oh dear God.
We love soup. Okay, so
it's SpaghettiOs.
Once I see him putting his shoulder into the door, I want to real quick zip and see if I can peek into the gallop door.
You zip around and peek in. The door is now fully open. You see a roaring fire with a big pot of boiling water. You see things like fish, a good number of hogs, a few skinned rats, all hanging up alongside of this wall. Large boxes of things like seasonings and bits of wheat here and there. Several casks of alcohol as well as lots of tables completely stained with gore and guts. You see the occasional elk and swamp cat as well, but that's a bit few and far between as far as the kind of meat that's provided here.
So can we move? Do you know what it looks like?
Yeah,
So I don't suppose they've invented dumbwaiters yet.
I want to poke my head back out of the door and motion down the hallway to tell the gang to hurry.
We wouldn't be poking our head out. I guess you could use the.
Hey, quick! It's empty. Come to me, quick!
All right, right behind you. We sneak to the next door.
Okay. The group. I need a group self check.
Oh God. It's nice knowing you guys. Yeah, we do not have a wizard of any kind.
What did you get, Sylvie?
4.
I got a 6.
I got a 21.
Clank, 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 clank.
Anyone?
21.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna roll tiebreaker. Natural 20 tiebreaker. So you, despite the clattering of the 3 chuckle fox over here,
I don't even know how Sylvie clatters.
She sings.
Of the 3 chuckle fox.
Who's the third?
Venice. I included Venice.
Was I got a 21?
What?
I got a 21.
Oh, 21. No, yeah, so never mind. The two chuckle, the Ratley made up for it. Actually, I didn't need a tiebreaker.
Okay.
Despite the clanging of Ganji and Sylvie probably singing a song about salmon.
Oh, what chuckle, we're not standing in a row. Boom, boom, boom.
That's what she's singing.
Are we at least inspired right now? Can I roll an extra d6?
I'm practicing for when the tension's high.
Oh, right.
So you manage to not seem to not draw any ire as you swiftly join Avantris. Not sure how long until that Chef Crocodile comes back.
All right, here's what I'm thinking. We hide. When he comes in, I'll kill him.
Yeah, let's hide in the soup.
Do we even need
Don't
to?
get near the boiling water.
Do we
Okay.
need to kill him? We could question him.
Yeah, I don't. He's a cook.
He's a cook.
Yeah, I mean,
There's obviously a lot of sentiment against King Krem. We can.
Fine.
We
Willie,
could
come ask me a
poison the
question.
food like we
I
poisoned the bird.
I
They're
like
eating.
try to subtly motion towards Ratley to be like, hey, we don't need to be killing all of the people when we're trying to help this guy.
But, I mean, is it a good idea to be leaving Creme Loyalists alive?
That's what I'm saying.
Is it fair to say that they're all criminal loyalists, though?
Well, I mean, we had locked down in Gangplank, but these are the ones that have been getting fat off of all of our work.
Yeah, this guy's cooking for him. He's not cooking for the likes of Ratley
Let's
over
at least
here.
try to knock him out and tie him up, and we'll leave him here. How does that sound?
Okay.
But all I'm saying,
You cut out there a little bit.
Yeah, I got it.
all I'm saying, Ratley, is you just have to tell me if you want him dead, and it's done.
Okay.
Say the word.
Okay, good to know. I appreciate that, Avantris.
So what
So
are we?
we'll wait. We'll hide and we'll wait. I don't know. One of us should hide behind the door for sure. I don't know if we can hide behind tables and things.
In the meantime, I'm just gonna quickly look around and see if I can see something like a dumbwaiter. Something that goes up that we could maybe climb.
Make a perception check.
That's gonna be a 15.
15. You look around, and unfortunately, the only sort of thing going outwards is the little chimney, where the two chimneys that are very small, that are basically tenting all of the smoke from the burning fire in this keep out towards the outside.
Got it.
Are there any vegetables lying about?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You find a few root vegetables. Yeah, nothing like leafy and greeny, but a few root vegetables
I
here and
would
there.
like to take some of those, please.
Okay. I'd say there's probably like 20 root vegetables. You can just choose whatever that you want them to be.
Okay, I'm just gonna take 4.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of radishes.
Radishes. I was actually thinking
I
radishes.
was gonna try hiding them.
That's perfect. I'm gonna have to.
So as soon as Anion's going for disguise, you see Sylvie just stuffing it in her bag.
Thanks, Sylvie.
You'll thank me later. I promise.
So I guess we
Yeah,
just
I
wait.
want to hide behind the open door.
Okay.
So I guess we just wait.
I'm gonna cover myself in soot from the cooking fire and hide in a corner.
So,
Okay.
Dan, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you have silence?
Yes.
So how about you cast a dome of silence around the door, then I cast fly on one of these gigantic containers full of soup and put it right over the door. Then when he walks in, I let fly go, it hits him on the head, might kill him, but might just knock him out, but he can't scream because he's in silence.
I don't know if we need to use a whole lot of resources on this one little cook.
I know, but I just really like the idea of playing with some soup.
Didn't he take all the soup? Is there any soup left?
It seems to be mostly boiling water at this point. He took the big pot of soup that was...
Well, this is just a letdown.
Well, I say we try to question him, and then if not, we just knock him out.
But what if he screams?
And maybe kill him. Fine.
What if he screams?
He covered his mouth.
What if he has a rocky talkie?
I doubt it.
Well, you don't know.
So as soon as that happens,
Oh god.
you hear footsteps, the door open, and a familiar voice calling back in there as the cook, and he is stepping towards the doorway. And
Can I see him from where I'm at?
I thought you were hiding in the room.
I never actually said I was hiding anywhere.
Where are you?
I just wherever I was picking up fruit vegetables.
Oh, so he's not in the room yet.
Okay.
So he's walking back, and the door is still slightly. You see a shadow block the crack in the door, and it starts to open as his. You see a green, scaly face kind of enter the room.
The moment I see him, I want to cast Charm Monster on him.
Okay. What do I have to roll?
I don't remember, but I will tell you in a minute.
Wiz save?
Probably is.
I think so. Charm Monster, it's a whiz save.
Okay. I got a 6.
A 17.
So, okay. Yeah. No.
So he likes me a lot. We're really good friends.
Tell him to be quiet.
Sylvie, did you do your thing?
Yeah.
So he opens and he looks around and he goes, ah! And then all of a sudden you see a poof of very subtle pink sandy dust fall on his head, and his eyes kind of gloss over a little bit, and he looks immediately at you, and he says,
Well, hello there, friend.
Hi, Bartholomew. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I don't think anyone's called me Bartholomew, but hello.
Well, that's my pet name for you, don't you remember?
No, I don't think, I like you a lot, but I don't think we met.
Oh, that's so strange, because we're best friends. Do you want to play jump rope?
I don't know what that is. I just chop turnips in the stew.
Well, come on inside and shut the door behind you. We want to spend some time with you.
Okay, sure.
You've been working way too hard,
make a
Bartholomew.
persuasion check, please, with advantage, because he's charmed.
Oh my gosh.
22?
22. He nods and then slowly he wipes off his filthy hands on his apron and closes the door behind him and looks around and says,
Who is all these peoples?
They came to meet you. I told them how awesome you were and that your food was so delicious, and they just wanted to come and see who you were.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
This is Farnham. This is Carlisle. This lovely lady is Mademoiselle. This gentleman here is... Lord Antonidas. He's a lord and he even came to see you. And then this guy over here, his name is, Scabbers.
I don't think my name is. Yeah, Scabbard. Sure. I don't like your name, but it's my name.
Yeah, sometimes people don't get lucky.
So Bartholomew looks around at you, and he says,
Okay, you here to help me with cooking?
No, we just came in because, you see, we were summoned by King Krem. He's in distress.
Oh, is he? I know he's not feeling too great, and he's a little bit cuckoo crazy these days.
I know. And so he had to summon in Lord Antonidas because he has control of an entire army of high elves in a land far, far away.
Well, King Krem doesn't much like warm blood except for Advisor Orpheus.
But see, that's the thing. Antonidas doesn't like the army either. So the fun part about it is they're going to come in and help, and then they get to slaughter them all together. Isn't that great?
Oh, so it's like treachery and being all cruel, like?
Yeah, it's treachery, but like double or triple or something.
That sounds more like King Krem, I guess.
I know. But the thing is, we're wandering around this stupid fortress, and he's going nuts because there's all this stuff that's happening in Gangplank. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, no, we all hear
Keep
about
your
it.
voice down, keep your voice down.
We
It's a
all hear
touchy
about it.
subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't give us directions as to how to get up to his cape.
Oh, he didn't tell us you how to do that?
No, he told us how to get in. He told the guards to let us through, so we made it in here. And I remember that you and I had that amazing night where we were playing poker, and you let me have some of your soup, and you won all my money.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't really have much money.
I know,
so
I only had 2 silver on me. Joke's on you.
They don't really pay me. They
I
just
know.
promise not to feed me to King Krem's Gorallins. That's what they promised me.
And you know what? And every time they mention it, I say, don't you dare, he's a friend of mine. And it doesn't help much, but it helps a little bit.
Can you make us a deception check? With advantage because he's charmed.
Natural 20.
Pickle Rick!
Plus... So 24.
24.
He loves it. He's
Oh, that's really nice of you for giving me all your money, even though I don't remember having it. That's really nice.
You're very welcome. And I know that being the cook, that you know so much. Could you point us at least the general direction on how to get up to the keep? If we're not up there to see King Krem soon, I don't think that the people inside this keep are going to fare so well.
Oh, wow.
Because he is, he's not happy.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not happy at all. He keeps telling us how not happy he is.
Yeah.
He keeps telling us that Orpheus promises that everything's gonna be fine, but he doesn't see.
And what
He
he
seems cuckoo
What you don't know is he'll kill you all if this plan doesn't turn out right.
I wouldn't say that stands to reason, yeah.
So we have a very limited time to get up there. Is there just anything you can do to help us?
Yeah, well, everybody knows that the door to the stairwell to the second tier to the fortress is just in the dining hall.
That's
just
wonderful.
down the hallway.
Thank you so much.
It's right there.
Now, everyone, are people having dinner right now?
Yeah, no.
They're really
bunch
worked
of
up, aren't
lights.
they?
Yeah, they happy that they ain't down in Gangplank. We sent most of the troops down there, and there was a few that got to stay to look after King Grim. But we always knows that nothing bad's gonna happen up here. We're all safe up here.
Right.
It's all down in Gangplank where
Exactly.
the bad things are.
However,
yeah.
that's the room we have to go through to get to King Krem, right?
Yeah.
But if we walk in there, all of a sudden, they're gonna know something's up. And what happens if they all start fighting each other and killing each other? That would be
Don't tell them then. Don't tell them then. Just go and walk past them. If you were King Cram, I'm sure you'd be fine.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We just don't want to start any more trouble than we have to, because King Krem is really frustrated. If he found out you sent us in there, it caused a lot of drama, and then, oh my god, that would all be on your head.
Uh-huh.
So, do you know when they clear out for when dinner's over?
Oh, I mean...
That way we could stir up as little of a tizzy as possible.
Oh, they usually there for a while, just drinking and gambling and eating. It's pretty early in the night, so it'll be a couple of hours, I would say.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate, Bartholomew, everything that you could do for us. I'm gonna flip him a gold coin. And I'll be like,
Back to gold coin.
that's all I have left from the last time we gambled, and you took my 2 silver, but I stabbed a man off in the swamp, and I got it off his body.
Okay, I don't mind blood money, I'll take it.
It's all for you. Now,
I cook for a bunch of cutthroats anyway, it's appreciated.
okay.
He grabs it, puts it in his pocket.
Well, I think that was very productive. You're so wonderful.
Do you mind if I ask you one question?
Yeah, well, sure, I'm not as fond of you. I forget your ugly face.
His name's Carlisle.
That's fair.
Carlisle,
That's
you know, I
honestly
never
fair.
told you have a very unsettling face.
Maybe once or twice, but let me ask the question, will you?
I guess.
Once or twice a day. he
Don't
means.
be mean to Bartholomew, or I'll cut your throat.
I'm trying to be nice. So you mentioned that King Krem, you only do this because otherwise he'd feed you to the growlings.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he says. Yeah.
So if he didn't threaten you, would you be here cooking his troops food?
I don't even know what that's like. I just don't want to get eaten by big old growlings.
Do you even like King Krem?
Whoa.
Oh, no, we don't
you
think
don't
about
say
that.
those kind of things.
No,
What's
we
wrong
don't.
with you?
No, we don't think about that. No. That's why he's so worried. He wants everyone to like him, and he wants to make sure. So we all make sure we like him a lot.
You're right.
Yeah.
Serious.
That's why we're here.
All right.
We're not trying to snoop out rats. We're trying to help King Krem's cause.
All right. Well,
But, you know, in the future, it's valuable information. For sure.
I look at Sylvie.
You want to play jump rope?
I don't even know what that is.
Well, I mean,
I motion to Renee.
To come to you?
Just in this side.
Yeah, I'll go over there with Andrew.
So I'm just gonna go over and sit with Bartholomew and tell him some stories and just like
So
continue
you're
talking.
you're
to
telling
him.
them stories.
Yep.
We
Tell him all the
gotta
vicious
knock him
things
out.
that I've done.
We can't leave him here. We don't have to kill him, but we can't leave. We have to incapacitate him because he's eventually gonna be uncharmed.
all right. On the count of 3, you and I at the same time. Just give him it's just a wee tap.
Oh, I was gonna say hit him as hard as you can in the back of the head.
What happens when they come out of charm? Do they remember being charmed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they know they were charmed.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I think on this one he doesn't know he was charmed.
Oh, really?
I thought he was. I thought they did. For Charm Monster.
Oh no, it does. Yeah, the creature
Yeah.
knows it was charmed. I have one thing where they don't know they were charmed, but I don't know which one that one is.
Well,
Are you making a stop at the armory and the apothecary too while you're here to get stocked up?
no, because we have enough of our stuff, you know. We come with an army, of
Okay.
course.
That's true.
Yeah, we're just going in to have the
But I've-
discussion of tactics.
But I've heard that.
You know,
Not that far
Did
away.
you say armory?
Yeah, I just on the other hole, yeah, across the ways.
Which way was he pointing?
Oh, it's just, you know, we's in this hallway, just around on the other side, it's the hallway, we've got the armory and
This one?
the sleeping quarters, yeah, once you get past either through the mess hall, it's a big circle. It's really easy to find your way around here. It's a big circle. We've got the mess hall in the back. We got the welcome with the foyer, I think it's a fancy folk call it, in the front. And then on the other side, where most of us sleep. I sleep in the kitchen. See that little pile of rags? That's where I sleep. But most of the lads sleep in the dormitories over there. And then there's the armory and the apothecary. That's where they got guys working on all sorts of things.
Death might be merciful here, right? I mean, just consider your options here.
No, I can't. He's so pathetic.
Alright, well then let's just knock him out.
I go backwards for that, come back. And yeah, while he's looking away, while he's looking at the sun, what was it? Look at the sunrise or something?
Yeah, just keep staring at the sunset, Lenny.
I'm teaching him how to patty cake.
Okay.
Oh, Patty,
I'll just give him a knock on the back of the head.
Roll an attack, please.
Advantage. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
see. Oh, well, that probably hits. 17.
Yep. Roll damage.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on. I'll make it I gotta add some damage here. I'm gonna make it a. I'll make it a menacing attack. Nah.
A menacing concussion?
I'll make it a menacing attack.
Does that mean while he's unconscious he has horrible nightmares about Redneck the entire time, and he causes severe mental damage for the rest of his life?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 14.
14 is like, patty cake, dude! And he collapses.
On
He
Sylvie!
collapses on top of Sylvie.
All right, let's take care of him.
He's out cold.
Put him on the rags.
So let's tie him up and like gag him with one of his filthy rags.
Okay.
Just tie it around his snout. 'Cause he's an alligator. He can't open his mouth. So just like
Oh yeah.
just a little bow tie.
So we tie his snout shut. That's a good idea.
Okay.
And we'll tie his.
I want to find like a gross rag or something, and then like maybe some like blood from whatever he was cooking, and I want to write, "It was nice meeting you," and leave it on his chest.
Okay.
I'm not
do
gonna
that.
sign it. I'm just gonna put it
You
on
do
his
that.
chest.
And he is out cold, snout bound, arms and legs bound, tail bound. He is tied up quite heavily. So,
Alright, we can wait here and try to wait out the people in the mess hall, or we go the other direction and see what we find. But I'd like to avoid confrontation at all possible.
I agree, and I think that given for how many crooks it sounds like are just over that door, we might as well take the time to at least check out the armory and the apothecary
How
to see
big
if there's
was
supplies.
he in comparison to us?
he was just medium sized, maybe a little bit smaller than the standard crook, a little bit older. You get the sense.
Like in
Not-
comparison to like Avantris or Ganji.
I mean, he was probably like 5'4", 5'5".
Okay.
So,
he
like,
wasn't
you know-
like super big.
No. He was like one of the standard size ones.
I
Not
was
quite
thinking
as
like
old
Butcher
as,
and Diablo.
Yeah, no, he was not quite as old as old Croc Squits, but he
Croc
was up there. It seemed from what you could tell.
We should definitely take a stop across the way where I found all of that money.
All right. Does it seem like safe out there?
Make a perception check. Or if you're gonna go to the door.
Yeah. The doors. Ooh, bad. Nah. 6 + 5 is 11.
From the right side of the hallway, you don't really hear anything. From the left side, you can hear just kind of loud drinking sounds. You hear the occasional dice rolling, clattering of forks and gnashing of jaws. So they're eating and drinking in there.
I'll lead the way.
All right. Is there anything that like currently going that would like kill him if we didn't like put like a fire that we didn't put out or like?
No, I mean it seems like it's pretty tame. There are a few fires, but all of the smoke is
Okay.
being tented out of the.
Got it.
All right, Vandris, lead the way.
Okay.
Alright, I lead them to the other room that I left unlocked, and we go right in across the hall.
Okay, we'll just say you can keep the stealth checks, and then you just go across.
We'll pocket as much as we can.
Okay.
Yeah, or we'll just grab a
So
bunch.
how much are you trying to grab?
I just wanted you guys to see this. This is unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
Ratley immediately jumps into the closest pile and tries to Scrooge McDuck it.
I wish
And
Morgus was here. He'd have a field day with this.
I don't know who that is, but I really like this. I mean,
Why
I
don't
really
you-
like this. My voice is up here. Never mind. Okay, there we go. I got it again.
Take what you like. Don't get too encumbered then.
Okay,
But-
okay. Yeah,
And
sure,
once once we kill King Krem, we can come back and try to get as much as we can.
Yeah, no, we're gonna split this 6 ways, right?
Aye, we will.
Just take as much as you can.
Okay.
and he just grabs and just stuffs as much as he can. He's jingling a little bit, but you see a little bit of self-restraint there.
So yeah, we'll just take them. We'll take some, but like I don't want to.
Okay. Are all of you going to try to take some?
Yeah.
We'll say that combined with all of you, you take probably 643 gold pieces worth of coin.
You got that?
643.
643 gold pieces worth of coins. Let's say you'll eventually count it, and that's what it will be in the future.
Okay.
I'm giving you a bit of divination powers here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's a dwarf racial.
Now, do we want to continue the direction we're heading? Back past the war room to see what we can find? Because it's not guaranteed that they're all in the mess hall. Just probably most of them.
Well, I think this is a perfect time to at least scout out the rest of the fortress.
And then
I
apothecary
agree.
sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Also agree about the armory.
All right. Do you want to go check out the door?
I mean, you might as well just come with me and I'll unlock anything as we go.
Let's go.
Okay.
So we'd like to head all the way to the right to that big door at the end.
Okay. I'm going to need everyone to roll stealth checks here.
I don't like the sound of that.
Oh my god, I rolled a 19.
I rolled a natural 20, but at disadvantage it turns into a 6.
Damn.
Okay.
I have an 8.
21.
16.
21, 16. Okay. What do you get, Anya?
Got a 21.
21.
I got that 19.
Okay. Cool. So, you quietly make your way down the hallway, finding the other door. Nothing. There's seems to be no kind of loud, immediate noises coming from behind this door, and it's just a solid, heavy wooden door. This one seems to be considerably sturdy, reinforced with strips of metal.
Do we hear anything?
Sorry, I was checking on my dog. Yeah, I'd like to try to hear through the door. Just see if I can
Make a
hear it.
perception check.
24.
24. You listen, put your ear up against the door, and it's difficult for you to hear with how thick this door is, but you do hear loud, low breathing.
I turn to the rest of the group and I get a little pale and I said, "There's definitely something huge on the other side of that door."
Does it sound awake?
No,
Can we?
but I'm no animal expert.
Do we know it's an animal? Do we know it's an animal?
No, I'm speculating. It was loud breathing.
It was probably a growling.
Can I go up behind and see if I can hear what it might be?
Make a nature check.
– 22.
22. You listen, you hear the same thing that Vandris does. It doesn't seem to be, from your knowledge of animals, it doesn't seem to be animalian. You do, however, get the same kind of the growling timbre of a reptilian, crocodilian, potentially, creature. From the exhales. You ever play, like, the Crocodilus in WoW? I love Snarly.
Sounds like a big croc. I'm no expert though.
It didn't sound like an animal though.
The question becomes, do we take our chances with the giant creature, or do we push through back towards the assault?
I'd rather take on one than all of them in that room.
We could also. I'm not necessarily advocating this, but we could just not do either of them and wait. But that's fine.
Right, you could. I just worry about the longer we wait.
Just throwing that out there.
Eventually, someone is gonna find Bartholomew, and then they're gonna know someone's here.
I was thinking of that, and I was wondering that as nice as it is to put him on his bed, I wonder if we put him in the storeroom instead. It might be harder to find him.
Or under some of those piles of gold.
Let's not crush it. Why don't we slowly open the door and look through?
Alright, I'll check to see if it's locked.
You try the handle, and it turns. You just check it, and it turns a little bit.
Okay, it doesn't seem to be locked. I'll still find myself frozen and unable to open the door.
If you'd like to open the door, you can. I just thought you were just trying to.
Oh no, I'm terrified. Absolutely terrified. Just kidding. I'm Avantris. I'm never scared.
I was gonna say.
push open the door.
This is a character development.
The door opens slowly, and can you make a quick sleight of hand check, please? 25. The door opens very slowly, and as it opens, what appears directly outside is an immediate vision of a large brown-scaled body. You see a humanoid crocodilian creature on a stool, sitting, seen with a bottle of rum in his hand. Seemingly, you can't be sure if he's asleep. He's breathing loud and low. His eyelids are kind of dropping, and then, but then you realize that as you look ahead, that if you press the door open any further, it might actually hit his tail or his foot that is kind of blocking it from opening forward. So all you really see is the huge body leaning up against a stone wall, and his foot and his leg, his tail, lolling out right in front of the door.
I turn back to the group and I just shake my head silently.
Would there be enough room for anybody to fit through with the crack, or no?
The crack, it would. You could probably sneak in and like take a look past him, but you'll be right up in his business. He's a very large, portly, brown-scaled crook. To his side, you see kind of this huge leather sack with you see glints of metal inside.
But I meant Lumi. Could she do it?
Oh yeah, Lumi could. Yeah, I thought you said like me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
No,
no.
Lumi. Just doing a voice. Yeah, I want to send Lumi in invisibly to kind of like scout the room and then report back to us what's going on.
Lumi goes invisible. She does the Tinkerbell salute and zips out invisibly. And she just does a quick survey, comes back, reports it. It is, as Bartholomew foretold, the foyer. It is a large room with high ceilings. High ceilings that goes, the main feature, you actually see the heavy wooden doors of the entrance of the keep. Down at the foot of this, with a large stone staircase going upwards to a large balcony with heavy stone railing all the way around. You see that there is. I have tokens for this.
Ooh, tokens.
Ooh, I love tokens.
One of the large creatures is sitting here, another here, and another right at the base. And there are also, I think, how many more of these guys? There are 3 smaller ones, heavily armored, with scrappy plates, standing here.
Huh.
Keeping an eye towards the door. The two on either side in front of the door have been drinking a bit and seem to be a little bit woozy. But they seem to be the welcoming party for anyone that might kick in the door.
We might have made a good choice doing the side entry.
Well done, Ganji. I think we want to, if what Lumi says is right, I think we want to avoid that room.
Lumi's not a liar.
Alright, then I say let's go back the other way.
Agreed.
I'm not sure our odds are that much better, but...
I mean, it's a circle, so it's just gonna get us to the other side, which we could probably get to if we just go backwards.
Whatever you just said, let's do that.
Okay. I love when you say things like that.
What do you think? Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. So we'll go back this way.
Okay. So
I can try to just gently push open the door and peek in to see if
Okay.
they're still eating.
another sleight of hand check, please.
This is risky. You could be watching.
13.
13. The door is slightly cracked open. You press on the door. You press on the door, and ever so slightly, and you realize that and you stop with concern, but it seems the tone of the room doesn't seem to change. There seems to be the loud, boisterous talking and drinking, and it seems to be a large dining hall of some sort. High ceilings. You see, I'm just going to say you can see probably a pretty good idea here. Just so I can move that there. You see a large number of tables. This room can fit a large number of crooks. You see one table that seems to be much larger and more ornately carved and sturdier at the very head. You could probably guess that might be where King Krem sits when he dines with the rest of his crew. You see 13 crooks in this room. All of them have swords at their side. One seems to have only one is wearing a hat. He is of a reddish scale, and they seem to be...
Oh, jeez.
We're gonna get zerged to death.
Well, okay. So we have to get to the stairs.
So, is Vandris back with us in the kitchens?
So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
what you see. You do see, however,
this
a
is
door
an-
across the way, similar to the
wherever.
door that you're peering out of currently.
Okay.
You also see to the door to your right. That is where Bartholomew had said the stairwell going up to. Yeah, you can probably guess that's where the stair going up to the second floor is. Is a heavy stone door. You can't see through it.
So, well, I guess we
So,
don't know yet.
yeah, where are we? What are we doing?
So
we coming up with him. So
Yeah.
like,
Alright, we are quite stuck. I honestly don't know where to go from here. I wanted to avoid a fight. I'm worried that if we engage even the 13 little guys, that somehow the ones in the front will be alerted and we're gonna get swarmed very quickly. This is not a good spot to be in.
How big were the guys that were the 3 guys that are guarding the front foyer?
They were
Like how tall?
They
how
were like,
wide?
ogre size, so like large, probably like, I don't know, like 10 feet tall or however much that is. Very portly, heavy, burly looking, they have the brownish scale ones.
Alright, friends. As per usual, I have a wacky idea,
all right.
but I think we should go talk about it in the kitchen.
Alright, fine by me.
So we will make our way into the kitchens.
So, Lumi described these guys as being really gigantic and heavily armored, right? So, they kind of look like probably wouldn't, I mean, I don't know, but my guess would be probably like higher up guards in Krem's army. Do you think I'm wrong?
Probably.
So the 3 large guys were not heavily armored.
Oh.
So they were just large. The 3 crossbowmen had a bunch of like scrap plate kind of all over them, like a makeshift plate set. Seemed to basically as if like they were just like the front line, keeping their crossbows on the door, just to basically, even in like a firefight, they could basically be as defended as they would be able to.
But the 3 big guys look like they were kind of the muscle, though.
They were muscle, yes. They weren't.
Okay.
They didn't seem like they were heavily armored.
Okay,
however,
but
yeah.
they were definitely like, if those guys
Large.
failed, they were the ones that were going to
Yeah.
keep it safe.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my idea. So in the kitchen, there are lots of weird things we could put all over ourselves. And so we have 2 really strong people, right? We have Rodak and we have Ganji. And we have me, because I'm very strong. But, could you guys, like, carry us on your back? Do you think? All of us? Like, I could... Yeah. So my thought is, right, if we could all get together, like really tight, then I cast Major Illusion so that we look like one of those big guys. Because I don't think the little guys are going to mess with one of those big guys if it goes walking in to the hallway, the food place, right? It's probably not going to get as much attention because it's gigantic and they're used to seeing them. And it might not get as much attention if it just heads straight towards to walk up towards King Crab. Now, if one of those guys does give us trouble, I figure I'll just use Major Illusion. We can all kind of communicate via walkie-talkies in our heads so they don't hear you guys talk. And I'll like make a growly sound at them so they're intimidated, hopefully, and then we can just walk in. And that's my wild, crazy shenanigans.
I like it. The only issue is we don't know how to open that door, and it's very heavy, it's very large, and it's made of lots of stone, and that's my only concern.
Also, it sounds like you're counting on...
Oh, no. Never mind.
The carrying of 4 people by 2 people might also be a problem.
I mean, well, technically I could be on my broom on top, so you'd really only have to carry 2 people.
But I think that
Well,
we're
3
too
of
close to the ground. The clearance of his legs would just give us away, right?
Well, I'm hoping that we could all be like tight enough in that the illusion would be bigger than we are, and so it would hide any of us inside of you.
Well, if the 2 of us are the legs, then who gets to form the head? In this Voltron
just as
arrangement.
long as we're roughly the same like shape of it, I think it would work.
How about this? Why don't we just... They're probably drinking, they're probably drunk.
So
We could sneak in the door,
well,
cast past without a trace,
hold on,
and just
hold
try
on.
to sneak right by.
That could actually be a really good idea because the other thought that I had, it's just not nearly as fun, was that I could dimension door myself and Avantris into that hallway, and then he could like pick the lock, and you guys could just sneak in. But that's like really boring.
We could also do another stone shape because we can
Ooh.
guess that the treasure room opens onto the stairwell.
That's a really good idea.
Could we guess that though? Would we know that?
Well, yeah, Vandris saw the door that we guessed was the stairs.
And we know that the place is circular.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We do have a lot of information.
I think that's the smartest and the safest thing to try.
So we're gonna do the Major Illusion one then, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well,
We'll
it's
keep
fun
that
while
one
it
in the
lasts.
back of our brains, though, for every step.
Okay.
We could try.
Yeah, I like the stone shape one.
We could try.
Because I mean, to be fair, I have already used one of my biggest and my
But
bestest
we
spells.
don't know how the stairs go. We don't know if we'd be under the stairs. I mean, it's worth a shot. If you want to use your
How
magic
many of-
ability.
How many of those do you have?
2 a day.
Well, it's worth. I mean, look, you just make a handle on each door, right?
Yes.
And then, worst case
Let's try it.
scenario, we just walk back through the door.
Let's try it.
As this happens, you hear the door open from out in the hallway, a door and footsteps start to walk in your direction.
The kitchen door is closed, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Get ready.
For what?
You hear that? Shh.
Oh, shh, shh, shh. Vandra, shut up. God.
So, you hear footsteps walk, and you hear the rattling of metal. And as you hear the rattling of metal, it walks past your door. And it makes a few more steps, stops. You hear it rattling around, jingling, and as you hear as the door opens. Hey, who's been in the loot room? And you hear loud, angry footsteps walking towards walking back in the direction of the mess hall, and then you start hearing shouting in the mess hall.
Okay, so we have.
We're going to be discovered.
No.
Very quickly.
So one of the cool things that we could do is you have that stone-shaped thing, so you can make it so that if they open our door, it's just stone there. And they actually can't get into this room at all.
But then can we get out?
He has 2 of them. So then, hold on. Listen to me. This is a really great idea, but it's really not. So then what he could do is he can make one of those openable doors. Hold on. You can make an openable door from this room into the mess hall, and if all of them run out, we can run straight into the room.
Right.
So the door flies open again, and you hear the footsteps of at least probably about 3 people. And it says, "Let's go ring the bell in the foyer." And they start walking.
Damn it.
They start walking. I start walking in, or they're about to pass your door.
Let him ring the bell. Draw the attention to the foyer.
No.
Why?
Then we have a
I
whole
never
mess
agree with Sylvia on this one. It gets them out of the mess hall.
And then they're all down here looking for us.
But then we're upstairs.
They also don't know what they're looking for.
They're gonna search the whole keep. Can't you cast silence out in the hallway right now?
So as soon as 2 are walking, they all 3 walk. 1 stops right in front of the kitchen door, and you hear a voice as the handle turns and opens, and you see
Our door.
Our door.
I'm gonna pull it open and immediately come with my axe.
Okay. Okay. Make
A
an
double
attack
attack.
roll. You're unseen, so that
I'll make it a power attack. Okay.
For the record, the
first
reason
one.
why I'm not casting silence is because
Okay.
silence in this area is not going to help, because we're either going to kill them and people are going to notice that they're gone, including all 10 of the other people in here, or we're not going to kill them and they're going to walk out the silence and it's not going to matter anyway. Just so that
so
we
it was
know
a
how
20 something and a 20 something. Do those both hit?
yeah, they both have.
Okay. Let's make ooh, that's pretty good. Let's make one of them a No, that's it. Okay. So 10, so 22, 32, 42, 52 damage.
52 damage. As soon as you're active, you hear both of the footsteps before you. That are past the door. And here, let me just drop the dudes. So 1, they're 2 walking side by side. 1 stops here, and you cleave once, twice into the chest of this thing. He lets out spits blood up all over you. As I don't know why my YouTube's not working here. Maybe if I actually close out of this. Okay, it's not okay. There we go. This is it. Hold on. And so as you hear the 2 turn like, "Hey, what's wrong?" And then you see 2 crocodilian creatures looking at their friend gurgle up blood and fall to the ground.
If I can.
Okay.
Now that I see that Rodic has killed one of them.
So as soon as that happens, you see their mouths open.
I immediately rush for the other ones.
Okay. Library. Okay, I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Well, that's a smaller spell slot than my other plan was going to have, but okay.
Okay. So I need everyone. Let me just do this real quick.
We's gonna die tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We's gonna die tonight.
Okay. Actually, 10. And with that, what number did you kill, Rich?
Sorry. Number 9.
Okay. Number 9. Okay. 20 to 25.
25.
Holy shit. Okay. Vandris, 15 to 20. Oh, where the fuck are
18, sorry.
18. Where are my actual... I have all the ones that we never use. They are gone.
We'll just... I can write it down for you.
So, first is Vandris.
Okay.
Who's next?
I got an 18.
18. Okay. 10 to 15.
12.
Okay.
11.
Monsters 1 goes after Rodak.
Okay. And then 12, 11.
Sylvie.
I got a 7.
Okay, Sylvie, Annulin, and then Kanji.
Ganji, and then that way.
Oh boy.
Okay, so as that happens, you start to hear this. Can you hear past the silence? How does that
Yeah,
work?
it's so
Okay.
things within the sphere can't.
And
make
what's the
noise.
radius? Could you purple mark
20.
it?
It's like 20 foot. It's a
So
20
it's
foot
like-
radius.
So it's easily this entire hall.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the whole hallway is blanketed in a silence as soon as Rodak leaves. Both of these draw their sword, and all they see
Yeah,
is
it's literally like it's this.
all they see is a dwarf standing by their friend. They rush but you hear that the loud clattering of glasses and swords are starting to form by the open door.
There's,
Okay.
there's an open door here.
The open door there. Yep.
Okay.
With that, it is Vander's turn.
Can you angle the camera so I can see the?
Oh, sorry.
guys?
Sorry.
Okay, I am. Can I even get out the door?
Yeah, and this is not like I'm here, but like feel free to like place yourself wherever. So like we're all here, so feel free to like let's say all of our starting spots are like right around.
Yeah,
here.
I'm at least here, so I could have cast the
Yeah, we're all probably here. So like let's say you're there, you can get out.
Shoot, this is bad. I can't get sneak attack on either of those guys. So you said there's a lot of noise coming from the mess hall?
Yeah.
I guess I'd like to just go towards the mess hall.
Okay.
Like, look in and see what's happening.
Okay. You you use your movement. And are you going to try to hide to see them?
I don't think I can. I mean, they're gonna see me come out the door.
I mean, you can use your bonus action to hide, and then basically
You can hide against these guys here, so they might see you, but against these guys.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll try to be not seen by the people within the hall, mess hall.
Okay. So use your bonus action. Can you just roll a quick stealth check, please?
28.
28. Okay. So you hide a little bit, and you as they're running it, you sprint out to keep an eye, and you actually get the sense that all of these groups have ignored these two doors, and they seem to all be kind of heading in this direction. The one in the leather hat seems to be sitting for now. As he's standing, he stands up slowly and is just kind of keeping an eye on them, just kind of waving his hand as missile.
What? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we just can't see the mess hall. Okay, so what are they're looking at the guy in the back?
So no, he's basically pointing them just to go check it out. He doesn't seem to be that concerned, but they're all going to check it out.
I'm just gonna wait by the door.
Okay. Are you ready in action?
Yeah, if I can do that, that'd be cool.
Okay. So do we want to like ready as someone gets in a range, you're just gonna attack them?
Yeah, I want to start like slaying them one by one as they file in towards me.
Okay.
Bronze players in League of Legends.
Okay. With that, it is Rodek's turn.
I'm going to go up here, and I'll make one power attack for now on number 10. 19.
Okay. Hits.
Let's see what happens. I'll make it a tripping attack.
Okay.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 27 damage.
27
and
damage.
He's to make
You cut him down effortlessly.
Oh, he's dead?
And he's dead, yeah.
And then I'm going to attack this guy. Make it a power attack. 21 or whatever. It's cocked. Reroll that. Can't reroll that. That's even worse. 1, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 damage?
16 damage. You cleave him down. His sword would make a noise clattering, but as he falls to the ground, but it is deathly silent as Rodek makes his way. These crooks manage to, and this is not exactly the scale. The hallways are a little bit larger, so 4 manage to file in as 3 hang back outside, and 4 walk in. And you see that they have no idea what they're seeing as they begin to shout and run at you, but they all of a sudden realize that their voices aren't doing anything. And it's too late. They're going to go in. 2 are going to go past Avantris, make their way at Rodek. 2 are going to go at Avantris. And Avantris, you're able to make your attack on one of them.
Okay. I suppose the first one that I see would be the one that I just try to stab in the face.
Okay, so we'll say number 1.
16.
16 hits.
Points of damage.
25 points of damage to number 1. As he's raising up his cutlass to come at you, you've been waiting, hiding. He doesn't even see you as you leap out of the shadows, stab Venom's spine right through his throat. He spits up blood on you as he collapses.
You mean number 7, Mike? It wasn't number 1.
Oh, wasn't number 1?
It was
number
number
7?
7. Sorry.
Oops.
Or I can swap them if you want.
No, it's fine. 7 is dead. Okay. With that, the other one, though, is going to see his friend die, and he's going to make a short sword. He's going to pull out a dagger and make 2 attacks on you. We're going to do the short sword now. That is going to hit. That is going to deal...
Uncanny dodge.
Okay. 4 points of slashing damage.
Ooh, wow.
And the dagger is also going to hit, dealing 2 points of piercing damage.
Hey!
4 total.
That tickle. Ah.
2 are going to go and just attack Rodek. They see this dwarf and this elf standing here, a bunch of dead crooks. You can see them trying to shout out, and the silence is preventing them from doing it. You hear that the more are coming, and the short sword is going to hit. The dagger is going to miss. 5 points of slashing damage.
With 1 attack?
Yep.
Okay. So 2 damage.
That's for 1 guy, actually. And then short sword, it's going to miss. Dagger, that is going to miss. With that, and then so the rest of them are going to basically be hanging out as they're waiting to see what's going on. With that, it is Sylvie's turn.
Can I see the 2 that are behind Rodek?
Yes, their bodies are basically kind of along the open door.
Okay, I'll just cast literally it's number 2,
Okay.
I think is what it is.
Okay.
So
20?
it's an 18 plus 9.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah. That hits.
For 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. It gets him in the back as he's trying to attack Rhoda.
So I'll do the second one on him as well. That's
That'd
a
be
natural
funny.
20.
Yes.
And so that's, I'll just roll 2 dices.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
9, 12.
16.
Plus 4 is 16.
16. It hits him in the back and he turns to look, and in a flash of pink glitter, his head is gone. His neck spurts some blood.
That was number
and
2,
his
right?
body crumples. Yeah, number 2.
Got him.
Okay.
Good name.
That's your good dice.
Yeah.
Annulin, you're up.
These were the ones that used to roll me 20s all the time.
Alright. So seeing the other guy coming through the door, I am going to make 2 arrow attacks on him.
Okay.
I've got 1 natural 1.
Oh, no.
I failed. And 21.
21 hits number 3. Is that a 3, Rich?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 3, yeah. You shoot out of the open door this, where this crook basically brought doom on him and his friends.
What's that Lovecraft in the book?
8 damage.
8 damage. As this one is also trying to hit Rodek, this one gets him in the side. He would yelp out at pain, but it's just silence. And it's this eerie sensation having this full fight with no sound going out. You're kind of familiar with Gandhi casting with silence all the time at this point. But it does not kill him. 8 damage on number 3.
Yep.
Okay. With that,
You
it
another
is-
attack, right? Or no?
She
got
She
enough.
now,
Oh,
the
sorry.
first one just shoots into the soup, some water. The boiling water kind of splashes out. You have no idea what you were doing with that one. With that is Ganji's turn.
Okay, move up, attack number 3.
Okay. Oh, can you put
Oh yeah,
down?
where's Rattling?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just use Gurko's mini.
Oh, it's not the same.
It's not the same. If you can find Kremi's mini, then
That's only a 13.
13 to hit.
Yeah.
It misses.
Damn.
So your warhammer swings and it barely misses. Or not barely misses. It misses.
He'll die next
He
turn.
dodges out of the way. With that, Ratley, he's mouthing something, not really realizing that no one can hear him. He's going to aim his crossbow and try to follow up on Annulin. That is going to hit. He's going to deal, and that is going to finish up right next to Annulin's arrow, like a crossbow bolt and an arrow right in one. He falls to the ground dead. Let's top of the round again, Avantris.
Alrighty. We survey the scene here. I'm just gonna stab the guy right in front of me.
Okay.
I'm rolling so badly. I got a
12. Seeing all of his friends die, he is very afraid. He looks like he's trying to run away as he dodges your rapier, and he's looking very scared. Rodek, your turn.
Shit.
Move him.
I run up and try to catch him. Do you want to do it? Do you want to make the old power attack?
You have 2 attacks.
20.
20.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage.
To number what?
To number 4.
4. He takes a full axe swing. He stumbles back as in his back, and he's desperately trying to run away.
8, 9, 10, 11. I'll make it a precision attack. 12, 13, 14, 15.
15 barely hits him, clips him as he's desperately trying to get back into the hallway.
Okay. Let us. 10 damage?
10 damage. Yeah, that does it. As he's trying to run away, your axe swings, his head bounces off the stone of the hallway as it collapses down silently. With that, you hear the loud clattering as the last 3 run in.
Poor dumb fools.
Last 3 run in,
Oh my God.
and they all charge at you. And this isn't scale, but you get the gist, right?
Yeah.
And they're going in, and they're just going to make 2 are going to attack Rodek. Short sword. One of those short swords is going to hit. That is going to be 9 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
And then 2
He's a big
daggers.
boy.
2 daggers. One of the daggers hits. That's going to deal 2 points of piercing damage.
So nothing.
Cling. Then 2 attacks on Vandris for the multi. The sword fails horribly. What's your 17? What's your AC, Vandris?
Correct.
17. So a dagger hits you for 1 point of
Okay,
piercing
guys.
damage. Can you
Suck
have?
that thing.
You take 0 damage, right?
Half of one
Yeah.
is 1, you round down,
Yeah,
yeah, so
0.
it takes 0 down.
That didn't even hurt. You don't even feel it, even though you're pretty sure it broke your flesh. Didn't even feel it. With that, whose turn is it? It is Sylvie's turn.
Silly. Well, he...
I
Oh.
probably wouldn't be able to see any of them though from back here.
You wouldn't be able to see them, but not in the doorway. But it's not very far for you to poke your head out.
But that's all silenced.
Yes, it's all silenced.
So, and I would know that.
You would know that it's silent, so you know that you have to go and look to see. What's
And you would
going
have
on.
seen me.
No, I'm just
Run
saying
past
She
the
can't
doorway.
cast.
I can't cast spells in silence. So even if I go out there to get view of them, I'll be within silence. I can't use my stuff.
If the silence is at the door, this is an angle where you'd probably be able to hit this guy.
Okay, so
Out of
then
the door.
I guess I'll move up as far as I can to hit that one guy.
Does silence come into the room? How does that work?
I don't. I'm assuming it works like normal for spells where stone walls block it.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's how we'll operate it for this. This is how I was thinking.
22 to hit for
22 to
the
hit.
first glitter lance.
Okay. That hits.
11.
That's number 1. 11 points of damage. It hits him in the chest. He's looking very weak.
Okay, so I'm going to do my second one at him, and that'll be 20
That
to
hits. That hits.
hit. And that will, that'll be 5 points of
5 points of damage. It is 11. Yep, that still does it. It follows up as
You suck.
he crumples forward.
Number 5, right?
Number 1.
Number 1.
Oh, swap them.
Oh,
Yeah,
swap
swap
them.
them. Sorry,
Okay.
I was confused.
I can't see them from here.
No, that was my fault. So Sylvie's turn is up. It is now Angelin's turn.
And I would have moved out of the way so she could switch places with me.
That's fine.
I'm actually gonna move out into the hallway, seeing that there's some motion going out there, and I'm going to fire an arrow attack on each of the
Okay.
2 remaining guys.
That is.
8 and 1.
They're both undamaged.
You said they are both
Undamaged.
undamaged.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
Alright, that's a 21 and an 18 to hit.
They both hit.
On our turns, is it a bonus action to use our Rocky Talkies?
I would say that would be a good use of
Or a
bonus
free
action.
object interaction.
Yeah.
After Kelsey's turn, can I use my bonus action previously to Rocky Talkie Vandris?
Also, you can reaction. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
It's a 14 damage and a 13 damage.
14 damage. Boom, sinks in. He spits up blood, falls to the ground. The other one, he almost dies, but is barely holding on. Genji.
Okay, I can't get between these guys to hit the last guy, right?
I would say you could probably make an athletics or an acrobatics check to try to get through.
Through what? Through me?
Through Vandris and Rhoda.
Yeah, it's just a difficult trick.
And
Oh, it is?
Kelsey, because she's right.
And Kelsey and all the bodies. It's a pretty. I mean, it's not to
Well,
scale.
she's here.
Well-
I'm like.
How does that
here.
work for allies?
For allies, it's just
Okay,
difficult
yeah,
terrain.
difficult terrain then. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I can get to like
Yeah.
here and attack.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
just double movement. or
1,
whatever.
2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Yeah, you have enough.
Yeah, I should.
You're just like stepping on bodies, wading through this hallway of death.
Yeah, 1,
So
2,
both
3,
of them
4,
are
5,
still
6.
alive?
One is dead.
One is
Oh,
dead.
gotcha.
I don't know that it matters which one because I think they only have 1 health left. Whichever the other one is. That's not gonna do it though. That's only an 11.
An 11, yeah, that misses. Once again, your war
I'm
hammer misses.
really bad at this. As it turns out.
Ratley starts shouting. Well, he actually would have talked. He isn't silenced. But he says, "Okay, I'm good about." And then he goes into the silence with his crossbow, and he's going to try to get a shot off with his crowded hallway. He's still going to hit. And thunk, goes right into its eye socket and collapses to the ground dead. With that, you hear, "Hey, what's taking so long in there? Why haven't you rung the bell yet?" And you hear a loud chair scoot backwards, echoing through the hallway as he starts to step in your direction.
I'm going to.
Oh, sorry, Rocky talking to Avantris.
Yeah, I wanted to talking to Avantris and say, I have a very crazy idea. How do you feel about being Orpheus?
Don't like it one bit, but I can't speak to you because I'm in the silence.
Well, Rocky talkies are mental.
You have to
That's
speak
why I
into
wanted
it,
to.
though.
I can't speak into the rock.
To reply, you can't. You can hear it.
I can hear you, but I can't reply. Scowl and grimace.
Well, I hear nothing back, and I assume that means no. Leave it at that.
Okay.
So I guess do we just wait?
Yeah, I would ready an attack for.
I just want to bum rush this guy.
We could do that too. It's
Well,
just
we don't know exactly how many. I think there could be more.
So is the sound coming from this guy that's still in this room or from behind us?
From out there.
So can we can hear him walking.
You can hear him, he's walking. You hear the jangling of keys. You get the sense that this may have been the guy that had discovered that the loot room was
Well, we gotta take him out.
a filter.
Yeah, when he
So
gets
he'll-
close enough within striking
Yeah.
distance due to my lovely pointy long ears, I'd like to stab him in the face.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if we can lure him into the silent zone as
Well,
well.
he's already walking towards us, right? This
Yeah,
is
he
to
is.
get. Okay,
That's-
so I'll just.
That's all I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just waiting and
So
ready.
while they're talking about doing that, I'm going to use my hat of disguise and turn myself into Orpheus.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I am going to walk past everyone and directly into the room. And I'm going to look at him and I'm going to use my minor illusion to alter my voice to sound exactly like Orpheus.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to act this.
I can't do Orpheus's voice.
Good luck.
You can certainly try.
Can you remind me what it sounds like?
Morning, do-gooders.
Okay, I'm going to try it. I will try it.
It kind of sounds like this.
To be fair, I don't think
A platinum member of the Diadra Club.
if minor
sounds like
illusion
it.
changes her voice, I don't think she has to act the accent though.
Or no, you have to do the accent. Just act. Come on, just give me a little bit of sass.
I'll try it.
Okay.
Excuse me, worthless. Is he an alligator person?
So he is. So hold on a sec.
Oh, crap.
So all of you are all readying an attack. In the silence, you haven't been. Vandus did hear, and suddenly an Orpheus walks by. That's probably about a foot too short, but in the same fine clothes, the polished horn. Sylvia's seen him enough to know perfectly replicate him with the hat of disguise. You walk in past your friends as they all look at you like, what the fuck? And wrap each other like, and you step in. As soon as you step in, the crook with his heavily armored body, his clothes, most of these crooks had relatively ratty, patched together humanoid clothes. This seems to be fairly well made and actually decently armored. You get a sense that this is someone of stature, and his large daily keys also probably means that too. As soon as Orpheus steps out of the hallway,
I drop silence.
okay, silence drops, and nothing comes from behind, and he's drawing a sword, and he says,
And Orpheus, I wasn't expecting you out of your volcano
Your
lair.
stammering is annoying me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there a reason you sent all of the men in here to attempt to kill my allies, interrupt my day, and cause me to be late for an appointment with King Krem?
I would like you to make a deception check with advantage.
Not gonna do much.
I'm after dropping silence. After dropping silence, I'm readying a sacred flame instead.
Okay, I am not moving the insight check that I rolled.
No.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Yes. show him what my, if you hadn't had me at advantage, put this number 1 up in front
Let me see what that is modified. Hold on.
Wow.
That's a 2. I had a 2. I had a 2.
I'm an 8.
Okay, well, either way, it's a 2. He immediately withdraws his hand from his longsword at his side, and he says, forgive me, sir. I just noticed that someone had been messing around in the loot, and I just thought it was either infiltrators or useless cook, and I was just going to have them dragged down and executed.
If I want to procure loot, I will do so. At the approval of King Krem. Unlock the door for me so that me and my men may speak with him. I am tired of having to kill your worthless people. Krem has given me the permission to rally the Gorallans if need be.
Okay, that was a good one.
He has? So you killed all of my men?
If they deem to attack me, they shall not breathe another breath.
No. We already know you can kill whoever you want. That's why we do what you say.
If you keep speaking, you'll be the next number on my list. Unlock the door.
No. Of course. Oh, yes. Righto. And I'll disable the warm blood detection. Of course, like you showed us how to do that. Not like you need me to do it, but I'm just doing you a favor.
Continue speaking, and your blood will be on my hands.
Can you just make a quick intimidation check for me?
Yeah.
With advantage.
Thank God.
Hey!
24.
24. Okay.
I hate that we all do the pickle right.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I don't know.
I hate it and I love it so much.
We're doing it ironically.
And
yours
it is no
ironically. It's since become unironic a little bit.
So many layers of irony, though. I don't even know where we're on.
Yeah, I don't know who's memeing who anymore. With that, he stammers. He's like, "Oh, shut up! I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed killing my men. They probably wasn't any sort of threat for you at all. Okay." And
on the count of 3, your life will end. Thank you.
And without a word, you see him withdraw a huge metal iron key, and he places it in, turns it, and you see him take his scaly hand and run it along the side, each side of the doorway, and run it across the top, and there seems to be some kind of mechanism within the door. Disarms itself as the door slides open.
Please stand
That might
aside.
have been too tough for me.
Please stand aside as my allies and I go to join King Krem. I will let him know that you, at least, provided a piddly amount of assistance. And I, flourish my cloak a little bit. And, play with my rings on my fingers.
Oh, no, of course, that makes sense, yeah, no.
Enough of the words.
Oh.
Follow me. Krem awaits. And I motion to you guys to follow me.
I look around
I put my hood up and then I just kind of skulk over to her real quick and go in the door.
All right. You see him looking with wide eyes.
I quickly shift my shield to the other side of me so he can't see the divine symbol on it, which is probably not gonna mesh well. not that this guy is gonna think of it, but just in case.
As soon as that happens, this motley crew, Ratley takes his hood of his cloak and hides his face, and he just says, "Hello," and walks through. As soon as all of you are through, you see that there is a lever on the other side if you wish to shut the door behind
Yeah,
you.
we'll shut the door behind
So
us.
okay, and so you step into the stairwell.
holy shit.
So in hindsight, we definitely should have just laid waste to all of them instantly.
But the hallway made it perfect. They couldn't say a thing.
That is true.
That was brilliant, Sylvie.
Can they hear us?
That
Are we
was
far enough
amazing.
away?
Can you take advantage, by the way?
Yeah,
Or
thank
yeah.
you. Or inspiration.
Inspiration. What did I say?
Advantage.
Oh, that's
But I
basically
knew
what
what
it
you
is.
meant.
That is, yeah.
Thank you.
That is.
As a Orpheus, I go. Your flatteries will get you nowhere with me.
That is a very good impression, Sylvie. I am quite disturbed.
Aren't you a little short for an Orpheus?
He didn't notice. And I'm gonna drop it and go back to
I
being
never would have
Sylvie.
thought.
That was kind of fun, though.
It was pretty impressive, I have to
Thank
say.
you. I was really scared.
Well, let's get ready to do that again. If we happen to run into him again, we'll hide you and then.
What,
you
if we run into Orpheus, you want me to be Orpheus?
No, the crocodile. Guy.
Oh, sure.
All right. Hey, Eventually in Toll. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey.
Thank you to follow.
Thank you guys so
Thanks.
much. It's great to see you guys.
So your illusion drops. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, now that we're in
Okay.
the thing by herself, I was
Okay.
gonna drop it.
Okay, so Orpheus has disappeared. Sylvie has returned to her small gnomish, non-short Orpheus self. You get the sense that although because of how unversed with magic this crook was, he didn't have any reason to think that there was any kind of tomfoolery afoot. He just seemed to be a guy with a sword and armor. And so you are now in a narrow, dark stairwell. Smooth stone steps go upwards in a spiraling fashion. A thick stone wall to your right as you would be going up. And continues off into the darkness. There are a few torches lit to the wall, but so few and far between that it is very, very dark.
All right. Well, we'll go carefully. We will steal up the staircase.
I think that's a great idea.
I do too.
I turn to Ratley and I say, things are possibly going to get hairy here. So
Oh, no.
if you start, if there's any, we can't afford to lose you here. All right. So if you have any doubt, stand behind us, and we'll make sure that you get out of here safely. But you're important to the resistance now. You're just a hero, and we can't lose you.
I appreciate it. I mean, I'm not as good as Victor Vicious, though. Right?
You will be. You've got a bigger heart than Victor Vicious. Let me tell you.
Oh, is that true?
Do you remember what
100%.
Do you remember what you did with Squawky or whatever that bird's name was?
Zocky, yeah.
Yeah, people are gonna chant your name the same way they chant Vic the Vicious and Nick the Nasty, I bet.
Oh, well, I hope so. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, now with all that gold in your
I just
pockets, you
hope
got riches as well.
Well, I haven't died yet. That bee almost killed me, but these guys against my own kind. I'm not putting up a bit of a fight, right?
You're doing well, lad. Just keep it up and don't die.
Well, I hope I don't
Keep your
die.
wits about you.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
I
bag
have-
I gave you.
I
Keep 'em.
have me witch too. I got
I
it
grabbed
right.
He
mine.
pulls out his little
Yeah.
bag.
Hand against my chest.
Wait a
and put it
minute.
back.
How is you Orpheus, and how does you know? How are you friends with Orpheus?
I hate his guts.
But
The
we knew.
exact opposite.
You didn't tell me you knew Orpheus,
He is the
Alfred.
scum between my toes.
Did you tell
Well,
me?
I kind of ran into this.
I thought we mentioned it. I thought that we mentioned we were after Krem and Orpheus.
Yeah, you
or
mentioned that you knew he was
something. I
a
don't
big
know.
deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your history?
Well, essentially, the brief story is that I've been hunting him for a long time, and that's kind of how I fell in with this group, and they've been helping me out because Orpheus has proved to be quite the mark.
Oh well, he's pretty powerful, and he kills a lot of us when he feels like it. At least that's the word on the streets.
Yeah,
But-
Well,
well,
I'm hoping that won't last long, and I'm going to deliver his head to the rightful people.
Oh, I hope so. That would be quite nice, actually.
yeah.
Well, I guess we go up.
I guess so.
Let's go up.
He's visibly
Shaken.
scared, visibly shaken. He's been murdering he's been fighting his own kind with the resistance. In any kind of civil war, revolution, you're going to have to be doing that. but I think you kind of see this look of like realization, and like it's kind of hitting him that he's basically killing his own dudes, and he's feeling kind of bad about it. And with that, you continue up the stairs, and you get to another door similar to the style. You reach the top, and there's a torch coming out of the wall, flickering just slightly, and same wooden door, the lever to close it behind you, similar exactly to how you saw it beforehand.
Shall we?
You want to just walk in?
I can try to come up with a zippy one-liner.
Start thinking on it. Well, are we at the top of the
You're at
stairs?
the top of the stairs.
Didn't he mention something about warm blood detection?
I did. How did he do it? Do we remember what he did?
Yeah.
Could I try to do an intelligence to see if I would have been able to see what he did?
Yeah. Make an Arcana. No, intelligence check. Just a straight intelligence check.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
Well,
It was a little better.
go fuck yourself. Not you, me. That's how I feel right now.
The die.
Yeah, stupid die. Where's my intelligence? Oh, there it is. Yeah, 7.
You remember the motions that he did. He just he didn't seem any magical at all, but he moved his hands along the side of the door and the top, but you're not sure why that would work given that he wasn't magical. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to you.
Well, I remember the patty cake that he played with the door, and we could do that and see if it does anything. But Orpheus may have given him like a special ability because he had a key on him, or because he was him. That was probably something I could have asked him while I was Orpheus, but he didn't. So,
To be fair, that might have blown your cover, so it was probably a good move.
yeah. I
Well,
mean,
why
there's
don't
a
we try it?
possibility that this door doesn't have warm blood detection, but I think it's unlikely.
Why don't we try to mirror what he did? I won't be able to reach the top of the door.
Probably with Ratley, because if anything, it might be that it's attuned to a...
Oh, I don't know. I don't have warm bloods now.
Why don't we? I wouldn't have thought of that. Why don't we try that? You're gonna have to lift him up though, as good
I can do that.
If you want to give me a little bit of a boost, I
So
think
can I teach him the thing that I
Yeah,
remember?
so I'll do.
I think it's the opposite of what you said.
No, I'll do it this way.
Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, now's our godsend. Okay, I'll think.
And so he
It is truly amazing we made it this far.
he manages to do the same pattern on the left side than the right side with his scaly fingers, and he gets a little boost from Ganji and across the top, and then you hear a similar sound that seems to have
Well done.
disarmed.
That was a great idea. That was a really great idea. So,
Do we hear anything on the other side?
Hold on. The DM forgets the map he drew. Hold on a sec. I actually
look.
Don't look.
don't look.
Oh,
God, don't show it on the camera.
Take it away. Take it away.
I don't want the surprise to
Okay.
be ruined for me.
Okay. Okay. Make a perception check. Who's ever closest to the door. You can choose who wants to do it. And
I mean, I was lifting him, I guess. I don't know.
Ganji, why don't you make a perception check? You spoke up.
Don't help me do it.
Oh, Jesus,
You
shit.
can get assisted by Rattler.
I'm helping.
Okay, that's a lot better. That's a 19.
19.
Jesus Christ.
You place a dragony ear against the wall, grateful that despite being reptilian in shape, that your warm blood that you have didn't trigger anything. And you listen, and you don't hear anything, but then you're able to make out thunder and the pattering of rain and wind as if this hallway might be exposed to the elements somehow. Or whatever is outside of this door might be exposed to the elements.
It sounds like it's a door to outside.
But it's fake. It's fake. It doesn't sound right outside, but...
Or that it's...
You have to think about it, right? Krem's best friend was Zaki, and I'm sure that there had to be a way for him to mount Zaki from atop his keep, so...
True.
It could be Zaki's perch here.
It could be, or at least some kind of vulture alcove or whatever.
In any event, I didn't hear anything other than ambient outdoor sounds.
It sounds relatively
It's just a
safe.
giant sleep machine. It's how King Crumb sleeps.
Yeah.
He turns it on to storm mode. He can switch from river to storm to ocean. Oh no, back to storm.
YouTube 24 hours of storm music for
Yeah.
relaxation.
Yeah.
It's his ASMR.
Well, I say we open it.
I don't.
Any last words?
Yeah.
No, I'll be ready to turn into Orpheus, worst case scenario.
Okay. You pull the
I'm gonna draw a
lever.
bow.
What?
I'm gonna draw a bow.
Okay. Annulin has the bow at the ready. She's ready to fucking murk somebody if they pop out. So, the door opens, and as soon as it opens, the same cool breeze whips and howls through this hallway. But it seems to be similar to the hallway that you were just in, except a loud thunder and flash of lightning you see to your left. You look down the left side of the hallway, I believe.
Let me check. This is. I don't recommend doing circular dungeons. It's very difficult for Fog of War. Why am I speaking?
DM pro tip from
I
DM
literally-
or DM.
Oh, there we go. There it is.
I literally tweeted from my Sylvie Twitter today that I'm hoping for Dracula
Is that
tonight.
where we are?
And
You're here.
he's literally
We're here.
Dracula for me.
Okay.
DM in your Dracula voice from now on.
Always.
I will DM roll a perception check.
I'm a great Dracula, guys. I just want to... Okay.
So we're here.
Similar to a stone door, you come out, there's actually another door. This is a heavy...
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
A heavy wooden door is directly in front of you. However, heavily reinforced with metal bars, seemingly down into these slots. Pardon me. With some kind of mechanism with a large padlock in front of you. To your right, you notice another hallway going to a wooden door that seems to be almost barely on its hinges, rattling, seemingly also being battered by the wind. You can see the flashes of lightning through the other side on the right side of the door. On the hallway back there, either side of you on your wall that you're coming out of, boink and boink, you see two separate doors. These seem to be more of the one to your left seems to be more of the standard door that you had seen. The right is also a similar heavily metal reinforced door. To your left, though, however, wherever you would expect a door or something is where a huge part of the keep had collapsed. A tunnel, whatever, a balcony, whatever that was there is gone, and all that remains are huge iron bars blocking. My voice is cracks. Fun fact, you probably already know that. My voice is
No,
cracks.
that was someone
So
was
that's
saying
over
it.
here.
That's your Christopher Walken impression.
Whoa. I think
That's
that was a
our-
great Christopher Walken.
So it's
Wow, yes, it's right there. It's you seen the sort of bars, the metal,
and then you hit the bar.
and the wind is howling so much, it's loud. And the lightning is so bright every time it flashes. That's what you say.
I really want Christopher Walken to DM for us someday. Oh my god. Thank
Wow.
you, Delving Secrets, for mentioning Christopher
thank you.
Walken.
Come for the shitty drawn maps and stay for the amazing impression.
Suddenly you see it's on the map, it's a hallway, it looks like a huge penis. Roll for
Hashtag
initiative.
find the penis.
Okay, I'm losing it.
Okay. Okay, so hold on, let
Wow.
me reset. So it's on either side of us. It sounds like what? More outside or no?
So, to your left is nearly fully exposed to the elements. You see a large pile of rubble and stone.
Yep.
And would be open, basically a hallway that goes off to drop off.
Can I uncover this just to make
Yes.
it?
Is that where we came up
well,
from?
remember that there's 2 chambers on either side, so just
Yeah, no. I
Yeah.
was gonna split it like that.
Yep. Good.
Let me move my
Perfect.
iPad so I
Perfect.
can put that down.
Just to make it clear to everyone,
Fog of War, ladies and gentlemen.
in no particular order.
In this episode of Find the Penis, you'll win a custom dice bag
For
and
following.
a voicemail from either Dracula or Christopher Walken.
Seamless. It's seamless, Liam.
This is why they pay me the no bucks to DM. This is.
Oh my
ladies and
god.
gentlemen.
So
Well,
we have 2 doors on either side of us. Door straight
Door
ahead. So reinforced,
Reinforced.
normal.
Normal, rickety, whatever business.
Ricky business.
And
This is rickety?
basically the hallway ends and just iron bars to basically prevent anyone from being able to
Okay.
get in.
So bars, normal, reinforced, rickety.
You got it.
Okay.
Whew, okay. Okay. Caught my
Sorry,
breath a little bit.
Badger.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
I'm gasping a little bit. All right, hold on. Okay.
No, hold on.
No,
Get
hold
out of the
on.
fucking t-shirt.
Alright, so the only other thing I'm going to say out of character here is it is currently 11 o'clock, and I know that we had several requests to find a good stopping
Yeah.
point. Do we want to press on a little farther, or do we want to find a moment to wind up to you guys? Just
I think you could do a little bit more light exploring, and then we could probably have some fun point to end on with the next couple minutes. Depends on what you guys do.
cool. That's perfectly fine by me.
Cool.
TM knows best.
All right.
So
So.
So.
I'm guessing the reinforced doors are things that someone might have keys to, who might have a big, weird fucking eye that needs to be outshot or something like that. I'm saying we should go fight and kill crime and fucking kill him, okay?
I think he's really high up, though. I think we have a long way to go until we find him.
Does is there any kind of an opening in the reinforced doors at all?
No, so basically it seems as if... Roll an intelligence check.
Is it stone related?
Stone related.
4.
They look like metal bars!
Hey guys, they look like little boys!
Is there any kind of a keyhole locking mechanism?
There is a large padlock, yes.
Step aside, ladies and gentlemen. I've already broke 3 of these tonight, and by that I mean my lockpick tools. So maybe I'll actually break a lock now. Do we have any preference on which one I crack first?
The one straight ahead, maybe, just because we're
yeah.
in more of a position
I
to
like
back
it.
you up.
I'm going to attempt to pick the lock
Okay.
and ready my lucky counters. Let me tell you, it hit 1 and bounced to 15.
Hey.
So it ends up being a 23.
23. Okay. Dang it.
Dang it.
So this lock is very complex. You spend a good number of minutes very carefully making sure you don't mess anything up. And you finally hear, and all of a sudden, the lock pops off. And as soon as the padlock pops, it seems as if the metal bars shoot out, or rather up, from the stone slits in the floor. And it seems to be basically a standard door with iron bars attached to it.
And so now we're out of small keys.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Out of small keys?
Zelda joke.
Oh.
It sounds like the locks on, especially the newer Zelda games.
Doesn't sound like Zelda.
So should we here?
Do you hear anything on the other side?
Well, listen.
Make a perception check.
Hark!
Hark!
15.
15. It's very difficult, but you feel like you hear splashing.
I feel as though I hear splashing.
What kind of a splashing?
Just splashing. It's a very thick door.
It's a girthy
I mean, does
door.
it sound like a drip 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 into a puddle, or like someone playing in the bathtub?
It sounds more similar to someone playing in the bathtub, I guess.
Between those two very specific points of comparison. So, does anyone else think this is where Orpheus keeps his special elemental guests?
It might be Orpheus taking a bath.
Well,
Splashing.
I guess there's no better time to go into murder his ass.
Just open the door and look in already.
Alright, I'm going to gently open the door. I'll roll a stealth check if I have to.
Roll a stealth check and a sleight of hand check.
Alright.
I want to, I want to reach out and... No, I don't. I'm not going to do it.
23 for stealth.
Okay. Doesn't even matter.
16 for sleight of hand, I think. Let me double check. Hold on. Yep, 16.
Okay. You open the door very gently, and the splashing sound gets a little bit louder. You see in front of you a large room with 3 large pools, and swimming around and splashing around are a large number, from what you can tell, swimming, slithering, crawling crocodile creatures. And that's where we'll end the session.
Ooh.
Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun.
Can you
Hold on, before we end, are they like humanoid? Or are they like...
No, these are bestial, what do you call those? Like bestial
So
creatures.
not like the humanoid one.
Not like the humanoid. So I'll just say, Vanders, you remember similar looking creatures from the assault on Gullhaven. They had those crocodiles that were a little bit.
remember.
They were a little bit smaller than normal, and they were all blue scaled.
Thank you, Badger.
Thanks so much, Badger,
You're
for the
amazing.
sub.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been awesome having you guys tonight.
And I
so
want to point out that Z correctly predicted that they were little gators having a pool party.
Oh my God!
We're having a full party.
He has the spoilers. He got this. It's Golden Week in Japan. He got the spoilers early. Very meta reference. Vanders, you recognize that these look similar to the ones, the pets that they had hunting and the like, and the attack on Gullhaven. These seem to be a little bit bigger and a little bit more.
Aw, thank you, Z.
Man,
You guys are just
you
the
guys
best.
are amazing. We love you guys.
Yeah, join our Discord.
Join our
I'm gonna
Discord.
cry
Come hang out in our
now.
Discord. We have so much fun.
Don't make the Sylvie cry on stream.
Or else, don't make anyone cry, or I'll start talking in Dracula and nobody
No
wants
talking
that.
Christopher Walken.
Now, the crocodiles, they seem not that interested in your presence. This is not canon. This is not canon.
They probably mind. They probably mind us crashing their pool party.
Yeah. So, they are slithering, swimming, and crawling around, and that's all you can see for now. We're ending the session there. And what is this?
Thank you for the follow,
Delving
Delving
Secrets now
Secrets.
following.
Thank
Hey,
you.
guys. You need better thanks with me. Anyway, guys, it's been an awesome time hanging out with you guys. So I ran a little bit early because I think a lot of us are trying. I personally am wiped out.
Gamgee donated blood, and
Yeah.
a lot of it,
Yes.
because he
There was a lot of blood.
is kind.
There
so,
was blood and a lot of it, and it's not
Yeah.
with me anymore.
and he's
Yeah.
tired.
So,
And so am I. And so
Discord?
I guess Discord. Our Discord's in the link. Come hang out there. We chat a lot in there. We're gonna try to chat more. We'll talk in voice too with people like around, especially on the weekends when we're around. If I get a chance to sit at my computer, I'll talk in the voice. So please come and hang out in our Discord. I'm gonna try to catch up on Critical Role during
Me
work
too.
tomorrow, and then shit post. If you watch Critical Role, we like to shit post and just hang out and chat about it. If we're caught up, I'm gonna desperately try to catch up before the
Yeah,
episode.
me too, because I really want
and-
to join.
and hang out with you guys during that. We stream Mondays and Wednesdays, so tune in for that. Anything else? I guess Dice.
Occasionally, We do Saturdays sometimes.
Occasionally,
So
yeah.
those are usually impromptu. So if you follow us on Twitter or Facebook, then
Yes.
you'll post about it well in advance, and then that's usually like a longer all day thing, and so it's better timing for some people if you're in a crazy time zone like Hungary.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah. So, and if you want to keep updated on us, Twitter and we do have the Facebook page, but that's kind of more of a relic and just to archive our videos. So Twitter and Discord are easily the best way to keep up with us. And
I can't. Yeah, I can't see if
we usually we always post our updates there, so we will keep you guys updated. And with that,
hold on, a couple more things.
Yeah.
So, thank you to everyone who followed tonight. Thank
Yes.
you for everyone who subbed. We are doing, Sylvie is a crafty McCrafterson, and I, as Nikki, make dice bags, custom dice bags. So we're going to be doing custom dice bag giveaway when we reach 200 followers. This is the one I made for myself because I'm a Gryffindor. So yeah, anyone who's following us and hanging out with us has a chance to win one where we get to like hang out and we'll get in Discord and we'll talk and you'll tell me all the things you want and I'll tell you okay and then I'll make you one and send it to you.
So please tell your friends. So please tell your friends. Please like and subscribe.
Oh, and
that MF and like button.
MF and like button. And on Monday, I DM a campaign set in the Feywild. So if anyone here tonight who's new to us wants to come watch my party, almost TPK, Mikey plays a character, Rodak plays a character, our friend Derek and our good friend Maya both play characters in that campaign. So that is Mondays at 7.
No, it's about 7:30 to 8.
Oh, 7:30 to 8.
Yeah.
Sorry. Whatever. Times change all the time.
Times change.
7:30 to 8.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so those are all of the housekeeping. And if there's anything else, we'll keep you guys posted.
I think, are we going to try and raid someone?
Oh,
Yeah, so I
Do you
think
guys want to raid someone?
Yeah, let's
We've
just-
never
let's
raided
raid.
anyone.
we're gonna try to start, like pass
What
it
does that
on.
do?
So, like, we jump into their stream and we all say, like I guess our stream just goes to theirs. and
Yeah,
then we all
anybody that
say,
sticks
like,
around, they all jump over.
just
to
get
somebody else.
auto-imported, and then we all say hi, like, we're raiding you, like, good luck.
So we got some choice.
So, I don't know. We've been raided a few times.
yeah,
we kind
so
of want to do it
we're
with
gonna
someone.
pay it forward by being good pals. I don't know who are
we
you.
can do saving throw show.
Venture Maidens.
Wait, where's
they have
our-
11
where's our
viewers on
pals?
Venture Maidens.
Adventure Maidens. Audio Heme.
Oh, sad girls play
Audio
D&D.
Hime, yeah, I mean that's I've chatted with them.
Okay, so should we do
Why
that?
are they
Yeah.
sad?
I don't know, but they're
So-
playing D&D.
yeah, no,
Okay, there
this
we go.
girl, the girl who is playing, she has big anime titties. Her character, her whole stick is big anime titties.
Yes,
so
let's do it. Let's
I
raid
think,
them.
I think that
I'm sold. I don't know.
her
about
character
everyone
is literally
Okay.
big anime titties. The character.
So I'm gonna try
Okay.
this for the first time.
We're,
Okay, we are going to raid anybody that sticks around. Good night, guys.
good night, guys.
Thank
It's
you
been
guys.
awesome. We
Please
love
help
you
us
guys.
raid.
We